Welcome to Halftime Heroes with the latest sports news from around the Mornington Peninsula. With Adam Kelly, Peter Susevich, Neil Craig, Lee McQuillan, Luke Harris and Chris Gamble. Take it away, Adam.
G'day sports fans and welcome to the Halftime Heroes. We are back in Suss's garage. It's a pleasure to be back and I'm back just to straighten up this shit. I cracked the shits, didn't I? I cracked the shit.
Nearly did. You were a bit crook.
No, I was very crook. We'll get into that a little bit.
You're a bit narky on the chat group.
He was. You just got it back.
I kind of looked at it and thought, oh, that must be a little hissy fight. Okay, no worries.
He nearly did the old commish fucking throw the toys out the corner of the garage.
Yeah, that's true.
I was wondering if we're all still friends.
Yeah.
Pretty upset.
No, we're all good.
So when Gammers and Macca are the closest out of the bunch, we're in trouble.
Guess what, boys? Guess what?
What happened?
Devon Meadows.
Div
2 grand finalists for season 2025. We are absolutely going to review the shit out of that game. We've got the man here that was only there for probably half a game, but we were there for the whole game, and we're going to go straight into that very, very shortly. But also joining Rosebud in the Division 1 grand final this coming Sunday. What's the date on Sunday?
Sunday, the whatever it is, I don't know.
This coming Sunday, it is going to be the
20th.
The
Sunday, folks.
First.
The 21st is Mt Eliza Football Netball Club.
Spook,
your boys joiing Rosebud.
Yeah, my boys, Mt Eliza.
Popped up again, Mt Eliza.
Yeah.
To see the fucking ads back on commission. You are
Actually,
fucking
get over to the
hopeless.
Pines, boys. Walked past the bar yesterday, getting a can. There's a commission and a new hat.
Did they? Fucking hell.
They pulled it out of the pipes.
And they had one. They had a Mt Eliza brand new hat.
They get it out of the pipes at Emil Madsen, did they? Yeah. Drink the water again.
Yeah, you could drink the water.
With a couple of paper bags.
Very good. We've got plenty to get through. Also joining for the Division 1 grand final halftime heroes football show, we have Rosebud boys in senior coach of Rosebud Football Netball Club, Danny Ades, and also joining Danny Ades in the garage is going to be, of course, the captain, the piece de resistance, is Campbell Hustwaite.
There's a star.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
So to have him come
Fresh
in.
from a league medal.
And then joining us from Mt Eliza Commish is your boy, your heartthrob,
Rikki J is Finlay Bayne. Finlay Bayne coming into the studio, Luke. Bang, right here.
Yeah, can't wait.
To pull out the big guns right now.
Absolutely.
Hey? Jeez, we're up and about, aren't we? Just into another grand final.
You can ask what happened at three-quarter time. They go to a bit hard, did they? Or
I had my little 4-year-old grandson there, and I said, "Come on, 50 points up. We'll go down and kick some, behind the school."
Yeah.
Almost got concussed 13 times with the Pines ball going. That great man was there. I'm thinking, fuck, it got down to 12 minutes into the last quarter. I know this is Division 1 stuff. Mt Eliza are 43 points in front. 12 minutes in the last quarter.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden they're 6. Macca?
Yeah.
Wowee.
Unbelievable. In the group chat,
I can't wait to talk to the coaches about it.
In the Group 1 chat, I was talking about Group 1 chat. In our Halftime Heroes chat, I was keeping an eye of the scores. And when I went, how's it tracking? And then someone said 6 points. I went, what?
Yeah, no, it's...
Extraordinary.
Absolutely.
I must admit,
momentum is a thing.
I had the phone out and I was
let's
looking at
do
it
a quick
hoping.
around the room, please. Hello to you, Chief. Master Button Pusher, Executive Producer.
How you been, folks? Great weekend of football. Had everything.
Tense and tight. It's exhausting.
First time ever I've seen Rikki Johnston's pulse
Sweat.
go over 50.
Yeah, it might have just got about 52, 53, I think.
He was very happy too. He even gave a little couple of double
He did it
fist
very
bumps.
un-Rikki like.
Yeah, very Hello to you, Spook.
Hello, Adam. How are you, great
Looking
man?
very sharp you are, mate.
Yep. Just had a great weekend watching Devon Bombers, and I didn't go there this Sunday, thank God for that. But what a great win from the Devon Meadows Footy Club. Very exciting, wasn't it?
Oh,
very good.
Yeah, it was bloody.
I mean, it's a bit tough. I had some I'm sort of a bit sad for the Bombers boys, but happy for a few of the
Hello to you, Commish.
Hello, Adam. Welcome back.
Hey,
welcome back.
No, still not 100%, but that's okay.
The herpes cleared up? Or?
Welcome back. Great to have you back.
Well, it was a case of diarrhea. It was herpes. What
syphilis.
Else was there? I think there was a
syphilis,
couple of
maybe.
other things.
Out of the bins.
Hello to you, Gammers.
Hello, mate.
Haven't
How are
seen
you?
in a couple of weeks.
About a month, I reckon.
It's good to have you
It
back.
was
Good to be back,
he's dropped the coaching. He doesn't have to coach the senior team. He's still got the girls. I tell you what, he can do some coaching as a runner. Don't you fucking worry about that.
Danny fucking ever.
Jesus Christ!
What are you talking about?
It was fucking unbelievable.
What are you talking about?
Fuck, it was great. I loved it.
No water was given out.
No, they're fucking still
They're all
thirsty, the
parched.
boys.
Yeah.
No, they kept coming up to me. They go, "Do you want the water bottles filled?" And I go,
What do you
no,
use
they're
for?
still
you know the water carriers aren't allowed
so
to
good.
coach on the field.
Oh, I did get told that a few times.
He had 3 possessions there. 3
possessions.
hardball
Three
kicks.
Oh,
as
could
well.
have had a few kicks. Yeah.
Can I
Boys.
just mention that one thing? Fantastic end to the game. I want to mention it. I know we've got some vision
Oh,
put up
huge.
through the week.
Yeah,
It's very
we're gonna
unlucky
put
for
that
Sammy. They probably were the better
Yeah.
team on the day. Horrendous umpiring call. That's as bad as it gets, to be honest.
Yep.
Anyway, Young Wish to kick that goal,
Yeah, it's a
being
bloody
dropped
ripper.
from the
Unbelievable.
seniors. Very emotional week. We got, spoke to his dad in tears after the game. He just goes back from Wish can't kick 35 on a good day with a howling win. He's kicked it from
post
40,
high.
drop punt.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Well done, Wish.
Bit of
Happy for you,
adrenaline
mate.
pumping
Yeah,
there.
no,
Yeah,
huge.
sorry,
We'll
Gamers, to
have
bring that up.
Vision up later for the halftime heroes. There's actually some fantastic vision from a punter that was just on the other side of the fence. Who's just
So
followed
good.
the ball
Right behind
through.
him. Right,
It's
beautiful.
Unbelievable.
Well done,
Absolutely unbelievable. Well, boys, let's get stuck into the review of the Division 2 Grand Final. It was played out on, when was it? It was
Sunday. Saturday
was
just gone?
Saturday, the 7th of, what, Chief? The Saturday, oh, there it is
13th.
there. How am I going? Saturday, the 13th of September. It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The
Bit
13th
rusty.
of September, where Devon Meadows were victors in the Division 2 Grand Final. And, it was 10-6-66, defeating the Frankston Bombers by 5 points in the end, 8-13-61. It was unbelievable. What just a contested, fast-moving, very much unlike I thought last year's Division 2 Grand Final. I thought it was full of just energy and everything was going on.
I agree. I was amazed, Luke, by Devon's ball movement, quarters 1 and 2. They were slick. They were out. They got out when it was really good ball movement, and they used the fat side of the ground until they got a little bit tired. The game went skinny. But once they started changing lanes, they looked really bloody good, Gammers. And to be 30-odd, what was it at half? 26 points at half-time or something?
Yeah.
They shot out of the blocks, didn't they?
Shot out of the
Like,
blocks.
I mean,
And this was your comment too, by the way. You said if it can get far enough in front, they might hang on.
I only watched the first half. I had prior engagement, but it looked like it mirrored the second semi-final a little bit, where Devon got out and then didn't get run. Well, they did get run down, but they didn't quite get over
they
them.
didn't.
So.
Exactly right.
But
They instead of playing that full defensive footy like they did in that third quarter, they actually attacked as well and were able to slow down and stop what was happening in the
So
middle.
their footy during the finals was the best of the finals. Frankston's footy during the season was the best during the season.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we got a cracking match out of it, a contrast to styles.
Early in the game, I think I commented to Neil, the one Wood of Bombers was their inside work, and they did win some clearance. But I think we spoke during the week, I was a bit surprised. I thought they went in with too much inside, and I think they did get clearance. They smacked them. Even in the first quarter, they won clearance.
Yep.
But the balance of the Devon boys, when they actually did win it, they got it to the outside and could actually kick the footy. Now, Bombers were getting it, but it was a hack kick forward.
Yes.
The ball hits the ground, and then the young Devon backs were off, and for the first half, geez, I reckon they'd be disappointed the front half of Bombers. They didn't empty out through the middle of the ground. They gave corridor to those young Devon boys. They went through corridor. We're pretty poor from Bombers in the first half. I know I've got some mates down there, but that was pretty ordinary in the grand final. Things turned after half time. Flex got going, really started to monster. He did, and they got going again. But then that last quarter, for me, the young Devon blokes learnt their lesson, started to take the game on a bit more. And Bombers would not take the ball off the line. Yeah. I mean, they've come from Division 1.
Yeah, the very ones that should have.
Well, they know how to play footy for me. They've been to Division 1. They just were just skinny all day, played into the hands. The young Hallier did a great job, old Lee's mate.
Yeah.
They took care of Khan, and geez, well, what a great win. Shock. On the day, I was gobsmacked, to be honest. Yeah. I was sitting there just watching it going, I can't fucking believe this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I thought that first quarter of football was probably some of the best Div 2 footy there's been. Well, definitely in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty hot, pretty slick.
Spook, you brought it up in the best four Frankston Bombers. It was Alex Harnett, Matt Robinson, Matt Chen, Samuel Latrell, and Flynn Wood. And for Devon Meadows, it was Joel Hillis, Cody Ray, Daniel Hillier, Dylan Gregson, Hayden Murphy, Dean Kent, nowhere to be seen. Unbelievable.
Great to see Darko
for me, the one that's a bit strange there, if you look at the stats, Flynn's had 30. Flynn Wood by far at halftime was best on ground. He ended up with 34 and 22 contested. him and Jolie were quite close to lot. So how they gave Joel best on ground when his direct opponent mostly was Flynn, I thought that was wrong. Dean Kent had the most influence for mine, and the young kid Cody Ray was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I reckon Khan kicks that goal and Flynn wins the medal.
Flynn was enormous.
That's the toss.
Yeah, for sure.
Boys, joining us on location. Can you hear us, Macca? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm just listening into this because I'm actually loving what's going on over here, boys. I think that was spot on. Can I just give a shout out to Dan Hallier?
Yes.
That game that Dan Hallier played on Khan was pivotal. Absolutely pivotal. I know you mentioned him before, but him and Churchill were super.
He rolled off when it was the right matchup. Churchill just got across to help at the right time. So when you this is the thing. We heard the response from Jared at the break. Surge out of stoppage. Jared, you've got to get some fucking shape on the ball, bro, because you're hacking it forward and they're rolling. Like, I thought they got a little bit wrong in selection, and I reckon they got their game plan a bit wrong, and it's going to fucking hurt for a long time.
So did you reckon, Luke, that the Bombers boys just went in thinking we're bigger, stronger, we're physical beasts? Just get it forward and forwards and do the rest.
No doubt. But
that was the game plan.
The three mids they had in there were all surge-type mids. Get out of there and get forward.
Yeah.
Devon knew that.
Yeah.
I thought
the
way they set up behind the ball, and they knew that the Bombers forwards don't really chase on the way out, and I thought they were happy to play the game. Gammers mentioned it last week. They lost clearance easy, but they were the next possession after stoppage they cleaned up all day.
Second possession's becoming the most important stat in football.
That's why the balance comment's important. You can't, at good levels of footy, it's all well and good to hack it out of there, but if teams know that, they set up for it and then whooshka, they're off. So
Gammers and Macro, I won't ask you this question, but I'll ask you two boys. Do you reckon, as in Spook and the commish, do you reckon it was coach v coach and Devon were just too good in the day? Just listening to you. Spook,
I thought on the day the Devon coach's box made more moves on the day. The Kent forward then to go back. The match up on Khan.
Kent started back. Just to steady things down.
I thought they did enough.
He went forward.
I thought they got it right. I don't think the Bombers got
the balance right. Didn't they?
I agree.
We're talking about balance. But the revolution for me, look, out of Devon Meadows Footy Club is playing these bloody kids. When they got 3 16-year-olds there, folks. Cody Ray, star of the future.
He was electric.
He's electric. And just gives them everything. So
it's funny that when you play some talented kids.
3 16-year-olds.
Exactly.
That's huge for the future of that football club.
It is huge, and it was interesting because you would have seen heaps throughout the game. They got back shoulder a lot, which helped them because if you get back shoulder and you can flip it over the back, their speed became a real big asset to them. Some of those kids like Cody Ray that you talk about, they were just going. They're off to the races, and they looked so good ahead of the footy.
Yeah. They got behind the Bombers' defence. They sort of like a few times they got sort of out behind them, and the Bombers' backs were just ball watching, sort of spectating. The kids shot out the back. It was pretty. The Bombers watched that back. They're going to be flat for a while. I know they're going to fucking hate me saying it. They're shut up, cockhead. But to be honest, they're going to be flat as they should have won the game.
It was a much more mature performance by Devon than what any of us ever thought, I reckon.
Well,
they showed a maturity.
You look at the stats, like statistically, if you took the score out, you'd say Frankston Bombers probably won the game, just on general stats. They had 46 inside 50s to 36, 50 clearances to 36. And I think the damning stat that Frankston may rue is between Haratuku, Grant and Block, only one goal. Yeah. That hurts.
Jared did
That's a great defensive effort.
It is. For me, from
a team that doesn't play defence, look, that's probably a bit harsh on Devon. They're an offensive side who got better at defence as the year went on.
How'd the defence go for Bombers?
I didn't see the end of the game.
They lost.
I've got to play them again, so.
For me, the biggest stat for me, Gammers, we spoke during the week, and I've harped on it all year. If you could have kept the Devon to under 60 uncontested marks, you beat them, and they gave up a fair few more. Yeah. And for Bombers not to squeeze hard in their front half to put pressure on that young guy, they sort of gave him chip to the middle, and then they got him out the back. They needed to squeeze and not give him uncontested marks in that back in Devon's back 60. Because once they got it to the wing, they were off to the races.
When you look at the stats, it looks like both teams played their style.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's only 5 points.
Back a question for you: did the Bombers fall for the one of taking blokes in that weren't right? Well, it bloody will look like it.
Oh, geez, Devon had more blokes limping around than Bombers.
Was Harry right?
Well, yeah, but
was he right though? You keep saying at 90% Harry is better than us.
He had a reasonable game. He had a lot more hit-outs than Kirby. Khan was fit. Just didn't play well.
Well, I think they've had a week off, right? So you're talking about being a bit fitter. Frawley, we all know, was not 100%, and Kent, we all know, wasn't 100% either. So I would be saying that Devon took a couple of years.
Oh, they were limping. The full back was on crutches with ice on his foot. He towed up Jared.
Boys, if Kent doesn't play, they don't win.
No.
Yeah, I agree.
He was
That's
super.
how important he is. That's how important he's been to him all year.
Yeah.
Hats off to Dr. Death, though. I tell you,
Oh,
he get a
Jesus.
fucking player
Gazza,
up.
yeah, good on you, Gazza.
Yeah, no. Sorry, Gammers.
Gaz, good man, Gaz.
Gammers, can I bring up on your point? Because we were at the game a few weeks ago and they were 18 points up and they were flying. Kent gets injured, goes off, it changes the landscape of the game. We were in the same position in the grand final. It's a 4-goal margin going into the next quarter. I remember watching it from where I was and I thought to myself, geez, if they put a couple, this is where they faltered last time. If they put a couple on here, it could be lights out, or it could be make it real hard for Bombers. They didn't. The Bombers replicated what happened again.
Yeah.
They got themselves to even, and everybody in the crowd, including me, was sitting here thinking,
Here it goes.
oh, geez, how are they going to stop this? But somehow Devon have learnt from that, and Kent got sat behind the footy, which we talked about.
Yeah,
doing
it was
that
great.
last time, and it shifted the game, and they were able to
just
stay
short
in
things
it.
up.
Those kids, we talk about how special it is, under 17 kids
Oh,
winning grand finals.
mate.
They don't play half as well without ex-AFL talent on
Totally,
the
you're
ground,
right.
building them up, telling them where to go, and then they just play with their natural
It's
flourish.
invaluable, isn't
like, we played Devon with and without Kent. They're a totally different side.
Couple other stats which are real damning for the Bombers boys. So Devon have had 83 tackles. How many do you reckon the Bombers had?
Probably
50.
50?
Yeah.
Jeez, it's a grand final,
guess,
boys. Like, God.
Yeah.
And the pressure rating was 178 to 122.
Yeah.
So you've had 68 pressure racks to 52. Those young Devon kids, 19 chases to 9. You want to chase in the grand final, Bombers? Like, you had a chance to fuck it. Now, that is a poor loss.
Well, it probably too comes down to that forward line you were talking about. Khan's not a real hard chaser when he doesn't move as well. Grant could hardly move.
Where was Tyson Barry? Where'd he go?
The same.
Yeah.
They worried him out of it.
The amount of uncontested marks that Dean Kent took in that back
Yeah.
to short things up.
Yeah.
He was 20 metres on his own and just uncontested.
If you can put pressure on the ball, which they did, dirty ball going in, it's
Yeah.
reasonably easy to mop up, isn't it, across half-back?
Yeah.
Crazy. Unbelievable. I'm still gobsmacked, to be honest. Like, I'm sitting here, like, I'm wrapped for Devon and unlucky Bombers. It seems surreal that Devon have won the flag.
So
That's
between,
crazy.
what's the fallout for Bombers? We know that Devon, good on you, fantastic, bloody brilliant. Let's flip it. What's
I
the
reckon
fallout?
Spook's the best one on this one.
Geez, I'm fucking in trouble here. They've got their 19s are great, so they obviously they didn't lose a game, which is exciting, but they sort of choked. Two's in good shape. They did have a few older boys coming back, like Dale Sutton and Brett Sutton.
Won
They
their
won't be
twos,
there. They won the flag.
Yep.
The Warriors, they're ageing stars. And for me personally, which is going to, I know Jared did a big spiel, he thinks everyone's improved. I watched that. I don't think there's many players on the list, to be honest, that have improved.
Okay.
That's just my personal view.
Yep.
If you compared to what they were playing at the back, well, Makasaurus absolutely touch up them in the last game, quite comfortably. Where Bombers were then, compared to now, they've won a lot of games, but no offence, that's because they're playing teams which are quite poor.
Yep.
But their ball movement, skill level, balance, shape is not what it was, I thought, 2 years ago. Now, that happens when you go back to the division. This is the hard part.
Yeah.
So maybe the first half of the year they'll like that, then they just get into we're going to win anyway mode, and they start playing a bit of Div 2 footy.
Yeah.
Cost them.
I think in closing, credit to Frankston Bombers. I reckon them coming back to Division 2 actually improved Division 2 football.
Of course.
Yeah.
They went off on a tangent. They won their first 10 or 12 games, and people
I
like
like that. Chase 'em.
myself went to work on what they were doing and tried to bridge the gap, and then eventually they lost a couple of games. So they should be really proud of their season. I've been in their shoes a couple of years ago. The challenge now is to keep that group together. Get a theme together for 2026.
Do
And
they,
go
so
again.
Gammers, do they go hunting top end or start bringing the kids through, or a bit of both?
Well, look,
bit of both.
they're kids. They've got kids from
Depends
everywhere.
on
Like
the
I think their 19s play on like 64 player points, so they've got heaps of 19s. So I would say
you start bringing that
they've
up.
probably got everything there. They've just got to find it, then put it into the senior team.
I did have a quick chat to Bo a couple of weeks ago, and he wasn't sort of getting ahead of himself. He said if they were to win it, they knew that going back up, it wasn't their time, and that they'd go up, and they probably would have brought in a couple and just try to stay competitive, because that wasn't the time anyway. So don't go and try and unload thinking you're going to make finals next year. That wasn't the case. So whether or not they could take the exactly same list and probably finish top 3 next year, to be honest.
Yeah.
But they'll probably just bring a couple of older boys in, and they'll be okay.
Yeah, okay.
It's worth noting too that Edie Asp came back and didn't perform that well in their first year
Yep.
back. Won a premiership, and have a look at how Edie are going.
Exactly.
Yeah, good point.
So they're the closest team to Frankston, are the closest team to Yo-Yo and back up in recent memory.
Yep.
No other teams made the grand final.
And the challenge then will be on Red Hill. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
100% it is.
Really good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fucking your boy Jamie. You won't be going to Bomb Beach games either now, Neil.
Is that official?
Yep.
Yes.
That's
Wow,
official.
good on you, Jamie.
Oh, yeah,
Great
well,
stuff, mate.
Well, that's
It's on socials.
I'll be going to Bomb Beach. I'll be hanging out at Bomb
Yeah, it's on
Beach.
socials.
well, that's
It's on
closer to
social.
home.
Yep.
Closer to
Hey, he's all right.
closer.
So I believe now only Seaford and Tyab are chasing coaches in Div 2 now.
By the-
Are they? I think. They're the only
Yep.
Isn't Tyab done?
no one's applied for that
two. It
job.
hasn't been announced.
I don't think it's been announced either.
By the way,
might
I
know.
did get some information Saturday. I did speak to Paul Kennelly, and it was very interesting. I know we had Bleaks on the show. It was interesting to talk to a guy. I've got the utmost respect for Paul in the industry, and his take on what happened at Seaford was vastly different to the one we've been
gotcha.
told.
Yep.
Always is, though.
There's
Isn't it?
always-
Always is.
So it's just an
always
interesting
Mount
conversation.
Eliza with Rikki.
Is he? Nice.
Isn't he?
Yep, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, that's what I've
nice.
heard. We'll ask the man when he comes in.
So well done to the Seaford 19s, through 3 in a row, boys. Outstanding.
Yeah, Shane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoa,
yeah,
he could
Maxi,
get-
yes.
He could get
There's a few good 19s boys there, Magga. You got enough good ones. I'll take a couple.
Just a quick question before we take a break and wrap the Division 2 Grand Final edition up is how does, and I'll go to you, Macca, first, please. How does Devon Meadows go next year in Div 1?
They're a bunch of kids. They're a lot slighter than I would think they need to be in Division 1. They will add a couple.
Yep.
They will definitely add a couple because they're going to have to put probably one through the middle, give Jolie a hand with Battle Leader as well. They're going to probably have to add one forward depending on what Frawley does, maybe two if Frawley's not there.
Yep.
And their back half with Churchill and Hallier and stuff looks okay, but they probably need, Kent's obviously going to go on through there. I reckon they probably need one through the back as well. So
Yep.
just some bigger bodies,
Yep.
but they'll go and get them.
Yep.
They live in that area around Cranbourne, Narry
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It's a big pool there.
Exactly,
when
massive
we're talking about Rosebud's got Dixon and they've got a couple other Bacarasella and those blokes out of there, they'll probably go and hit that pool. I mean,
Yeah.
the other thing too is Cranbourne, they've got a
Oh,
couple
yeah,
of other
I'm
bodies, but
going.
They're
Well-
heading, Cranbourne are heading back into Divi 2 now.
Yep.
So you can probably start sifting through a couple of their blokes and Berwick. I
Yep.
would think if they do that, they'll be smart and
Okay.
astute and they'll be around the mark. They've got good kids.
Yep. Spoke.
I think I spoke to Gammers off air. My concern would be, so they've done it. They've probably made it a bit earlier than they thought.
Yep.
If they don't want to make the mistake to go out and try and buy 5 or 6 stars,
no.
because you're going to bounce up. Now you might, even if you're to be a little bit competitive, if those guys leave, the 5 or 6 local and the kids aren't getting senior opportunities.
Yep.
Get a couple in, go up, give everyone at the club a good look, 2s, 19s and the seniors. You're going to realise, geez, we are a fair way off that.
Yeah.
That's okay. You can come back down, keep building with the kids, then win another one, whenever that is.
Yep.
So when you do get up there, there's sustainability to stay there.
That's right.
Don't go and spend the money and
Which is
ruin.
your
The kids
philosophy.
just fucking got you there.
Yeah.
So don't go and torture the
So
locals for now.
that's where Devon's initial problems lie. Their twos. Their twos are pretty poor,
Yeah.
like their bottom
Yeah.
3 or
Yeah,
4 on the
yeah,
ladder.
that's
your
So,
thoughts?
Not very deep.
yeah, look, I just think they'll be tested depth. I
Yep.
think if they can get their best team out there, 15 weeks out of 18, I don't think they'll come straight back. But look, they're not EDS.
Yep.
That, in my opinion.
No. Yeah.
So I think they've done a great job. I like speak to Gitter a couple of times during the year, and I don't even think he thought they were going to win it this year. So
no,
it's
just
No.
take the wins.
good on them. They've
Yeah.
done it the right
Fantastic.
way.
Take it, it's there.
Just probably don't have the depth
Commish,
underneath.
quickly.
Oh yeah, look, it's hard to disagree with any of that.
No,
And
exactly.
It's where they get their size from. So as you say, their pool out there is fairly broad now. It's a big area. You've got Cranny and Narry and those Beaconsfield and those sort of areas, and it's how much cash they want to. I'm assuming Dean won't go around again. Dean Kent. They won't.
I think Kent's going to play.
He'll go around
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
They won't have Frawley again. He was sort of in and out. But their list. I mean, you put 2 or 3 big bodies in there. You're not a million miles away.
yeah.
I think one thing we've got to be mindful of is they played at 42 in that grand final.
Yeah.
I worked out on their list that they've got probably 7 points to gain off a drop, plus maybe 3 off Frawley. So you're talking 10 points. So you can probably
2
go and get
fives.
2.
Yeah.
Probably go and get 2. And then on top of that, the other thing you've got to do, and this is what some of the clubs are starting to realise. Go out and start to scour the place and say, hey, boys, if you're a local Devon bloke and you're a 1-pointer, we're now in Division 1.
Yeah.
How about you come back and
Come
support
back.
the club you started
Yeah.
at? So, look,
There's a few of them around.
Yeah.
And it's far more attractive now than what it's ever been.
So
No,
that's
that's exactly
that's
right.
guys
Yeah.
like Blake Mullane.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the answer to if it was 1 year later, Jimmy Harms
Harms.
would be delisted likely,
was there,
and
wasn't
he
he?
was always going to come
Yeah.
back, which in turn, just hold on there next year, even if you go back to Div 2.
Yeah.
If Jimmy comes and Blake, you're going to bounce up and then you're there for a while. So
Yeah.
just hold your, do well next year in Div 1, hopefully,
Lot more
and then away you go.
Oh, I absolutely love it. Thanks to Toyota, Mornington, Frankston and Rosebud. That is a wrap for Division 2 with Devon Meadows, the Division 2 premiers
Well
of
done, boys.
season
Well done.
20.
Well done, Janice.
25. Hats off to you. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to be back with Division 1 football and the upcoming grand final between Rosebud Football Netball Club and Mt Eliza Football Club. You are watching and listening the Halftime Heroes.
Looking for unbeatable deals on new and used Toyotas? Head to Frankston Toyota, where great service meets great value. From rugged Hilux to fuel-efficient Corolla, we've got the perfect car for every driver. And right now, crazy low finance rates for selected models. Come see why locals trust Frankston Toyota. Just off the freeway. Easy to find, hard to beat. T's and C's apply. Visit frankstontoyota.com.au today.
Welcome back to the Halftime Heroes. As you would have seen, it's a different looking panel. Chris Gamble, senior coach of the Somerville Football Netball Club, has left the garage. And it is now time for the Division 2 football show, boys. Let's get stuck straight into the upcoming grand final. Let's review it. Let's pull it apart.
Division 1.
Division 1.
But it's all-
Why
it's
do
all
I
good.
keep
We were
doing
just
that?
there. We were just there.
Yeah, we
So-
just
Okay,
2-1.
It's okay, mate. You've been off with herpes. It's okay, don't it?
Division 1, Division 2 is not much difference.
There's a lot of difference.
I'm looking forward to hearing what Devon Meadows
Don't
think
you
about that.
bloody orangutan over there.
Ooh.
It's now time for the review
Hey.
of the Division 1 foot grand final.
That chair's
Oh,
about
I
to go,
know.
boys.
It's gone white
Fucking
again.
such
It's
a-
gone white.
We're getting you a
Stop.
new chair next year,
Stop
Sus.
bouncing.
Or another one to put on top of that one.
It is the upcoming grand final in Division 1. It's Rosebud taking on the Mt Eliza Football Netball Club, and it is set to be absolutely unbelievable. As I said, up the top of the show, we have Rosebud coming up very shortly, both Danny Ades and Campbell Hustwaite. And then following them will be, of course, your boy, Rikki J. I'm a little bit nervous
Finlay
about that.
Bayne. Finlay Bayne.
You're going to have to just
Hands
go backwards from the table and then get up because you might
Yes,
catch your boner on the end of it.
No, there's no... Adam, I
old
can assure there's
grey-
no risk of that happening.
No,
The
we've
old,
already
the old
discussed that.
grey
Couple of paddle
wispy
poles.
elephant trunk just knocks the table over.
No, a couple of
There's
paddle
no-
pole sticks.
just
Just,
everyone relax.
and Finn Bayne, of course, coming up as well, Macca, for that
Jesus,
one.
Macca.
But, boys,
Why would you
have a go at this. It is going to be epic at Kinetic Park, Kinetic Stadium in Frankston. Funky town. Hopefully the weather is going to be okay. We might see if we can touch base with Jane Bunn a little bit later. But, boys, take it away, please. I can't wait to fucking listen to this.
Ooh, it's
Let you
gonna-
start, Spook. Let you start.
I mean, we've spoken, obviously, Rosebud being the best team all year, and they play a sort of a fairly different brand of footy. You've got a big, strong, powerful team that probably like to get the game in contest, and you've got probably a smaller body type, a team that likes to take the ball out in a bit of space and sort of cut teams up by foot. So it's two contrasting styles. How that plays out is going to be interesting, and it's the individual battles throughout the day that intrigues me. Where does Bob go? Those matchups are important. But we've said, I think, before, maybe about round 14, before Mt Eliza got on the roll, I think I might have mentioned it, that we said if Mt Eliza do get on the roll, they're the one team that we thought could beat Rosebud. We didn't think YC could.
No.
We didn't think Edie could.
No.
They would.
They were the one that
they were the one
Rosebud
team.
didn't want to play.
We said it.
And you listening to when you listen to Rikki and Finn when we talk to them later, I tell you what, they're a scary proposition, and it's going to be a bit closer than people think.
Yeah.
Chief?
I suppose what we're going to look at is last week and what happened for 3 quarters, and then have a look at the last quarter, and then wind the clock forward to the grand final. I think importance of last week is really immense.
Well, they had to call her off. They rested, W. Fresh as.
Yeah. How much is that 15 or 20 minutes taken out of them, Macca? Has it taken anything? Because it was bang and crash there for 20 minutes.
Do you know what we might do? We might bring it up with the boys and see what
Yeah.
they had to
That's
say.
a good idea.
Yes.
Because I'd be surprised if there possibly wasn't a few Mt Eliza blokes starting to think about the following week.
Yeah.
Like they're a long way up.
Yeah.
They're a long way up. So if they're not starting to preserve and go, shit, I want my spot on this side.
I was
I don't know. Like I know you got a game to win, and it probably got a bit willing there, but they were. YC were just like goal after goal after goal after goal, and it was happening within minutes.
Macca, we were out there, and at our three-quarter time little spiel, we said that it was 50 points enough.
Yeah.
I think we both agreed that
Did
it
you
was
guys
just.
did you get an ice cream while you were there or not?
No, I didn't get
You
it.
didn't, but you thought
There was a lot of old dudes getting choc
I tell you what he did.
Yeah,
I
of
tell you
course.
what he-
Where do all the old pedos stand? Right in front of the ice cream shop.
I love one of those choc tops.
tell you what he-
Yeah.
12 bucks
Lovely
for the
little
crunchy.
boy.
does that?
Where do you want to do
Bucks
a
for the
lottery?
crunchy. It's a bit rich, isn't it?
I tell you what did happen to him, right? He was sitting down the bottom there, and don't forget we're in Pines. Some kid just belted a footy.
He would have.
Oh, he did too.
No doubt.
Yeah.
He'd
Yeah,
punch
just-
your head in.
Yeah.
Did you want to?
6-year-old to drill you.
Cost me
We're
20
we're
bucks.
professionals, mate. We just moved on. I got
paid
him
him.
later.
Suspect him.
20 bucks.
I loved it. Though. Hey, Mr. Professional, he just got on with it.
Yeah, good.
Didn't even batter an eyelid.
Didn't
batter
What
an
we
eyelid.
were talking about?
Well, we were talking about that game and like whether it took something out of Mt Eliza.
Fell asleep.
Yeah, the last 20 minutes, whether it was the bang and crack. There didn't seem to be any injuries or any, but it was fucking helter-skelter for 20 minutes. It was madness.
Yeah, I think if you have a look, a lot of the crowd had thinned out. I had a look up on
Rosebud
the
boys were
balcony.
there and went home.
They'd gone. Everyone
Yeah.
had gone. Like half the crowd was there and
Yeah.
half had gone. And, you were going to give it a few minutes because you thought to yourself, if YC have only kicked 2 goals, how are they going to kick 8
Yes,
to
that's
win it?
exactly right.
Like, they've only kicked 2, and they had the breeze and probably really butchered it in that second quarter and put themselves behind the 8 ball. And Mt Eliza had shown they could kick a couple against
Yeah.
it anyway.
Yeah.
They just work their way up, chipping and charging.
But Macca, I reckon we both thought that YC can't be that bad for that long.
we did.
There was an element of that,
we
wasn't
did
there?
think that. Yeah,
there was
'cause
an
they're a
element of
scary
that thinking,
prospect.
fuck,
They were
if they
gonna
flick the switch here.
Yeah, guys like, Goon and getting going through the middle and Mullane and that.
Darcy
and,
kicks 3 in a quarter.
Yeah. They weren't sort of going to let it go. And Darcy had had a shocking game up until then, and,
Yeah.
he came alive in the last quarter, and was giving it to the crowd and everything like that. So, hey, can I just point out? We said last week that Freeman's Freeman's been swinging and at a lot of blokes,
a lot of
and
small blokes.
having a go, but we did say we'd love to see him go at Darcy, and it happened. Spook.
What happened? You tell me I wasn't there. I can have as a guess. Someone shit their pants and run off.
I'll just say that Darcy's a strong boy,
Yes, he's
and
a
he,
big foot.
he shuffled him a little bit, and I reckon he tried to go back at him, Freeman, and realised that he's probably
little bit
boxing
out of
Not going to
Yeah.
get him there.
Pick him
out
up.
of his division,
Yeah.
so he pulled back.
Fair enough. Serious tattoos.
But,
too.
but,
10%
did,
tougher.
but did beat him as a footballer for,
I reckon
for most of
Bobby
the day,
did.
other than 10 minutes to go.
Credit to him, he did beat him, and then he obviously came alight in the end, and
Yeah.
it wasn't enough.
It was
so,
coming in so quickly too.
Yeah, it was.
Bang,
It
bang,
was.
bang, was
Yeah,
continuous.
Mac, I'd like to ask you, Mac, obviously, when I watched Rosebud that last game, and you coached against them, so it seems to me, particularly from back half, they're happy to punt to a contest. Like they'll punt out of their back half, long down the line, get their tools. The game will be won and lost right there. If Mt Eliza cannot, they might not always, they're not going to outmark them all the time. They've got the big boys down the line. They have to get that contest at ground level. If they're losing the ground balls at the long down the line, they are torched.
Yeah.
Because they balance that Rosebud know where they're going. They get really good shape there, funnel it inside and go. If Mt Eliza are losing those long down the lines, they won't win.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. And because Rosebud know the cattle that sits down that line. They know they've got the 2 Cummins boys that'll mark, and they're not necessarily the ones they go to.
That's right.
That's the thing. Kuipers are sitting up there, White's sitting up there. Dixon plays a lot bigger than what he is.
Yep.
So they know they can go there. So you're talking about a team that goes deep I-50 against a team that goes shallow I-50. So you don't want to go too deep against Rosebud because you do have a couple of defenders there that can sort of sag off. But I watched on the weekend. It was really interesting, and I possibly won't say this to Rikki because I know he's not going to give us much. I know both these coaches, they're smart enough not to give us so much. But what will happen on this ground is there'll be a lot of goals from Mt Eliza kicked from 35 to 50.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we saw O'Neill, both the O'Neill boys were getting on the end of it. Nelm's getting on the end of it. Because Rosebud will pull back a little bit deeper, whereas up the other end, it's going to go long and deep, and it's going to be a challenge to see whether Mt Eliza can actually. It's going to be a steady flow.
If Bob plays forward, he's a hit up forward too.
I've got a feeling
He doesn't stand the goal square.
I reckon Bob's got to
back.
go. I believe Bob's got to go back too.
I do.
I just think
in that case, Tom and Bob will go back.
Yep, but that's the thing. I mean, if you
think
can,
he has to.
they have to. They have to. I think
that
many.
three-headed-
there's 3 of
Whether
them.
Wilbur
There's
goes
3 of them,
forward.
So
Well, I think Mt Eliza can afford. They can still kick a score now. Their mids and forwards will hit the scoreboard enough. It's not like they've relied on Bob to kick bags of
Yeah,
goals.
yeah,
He's
correct.
gone up there in the last few weeks and kicked a couple.
Yeah.
The other thing they don't do is they don't. Everyone talks about their goal kicking. I've watched them a little bit. They enter the 50 where they want. Rikki does not want to turn the ball over in a bad spot. So they get a lot of shots from out wide, which is, I think, that's a bit of a play. So I think they can afford to put Bob back. If they goes to Mitch,
I think he starts back.
I think so, and I think
He
they
does
can
a
take
team
away a
camp. He
weapon.
starts back.
It's going to make it a very interesting game. If he
Yeah.
can shut one of those big boys down, that's a real one-wood of Rosebud. If he can just take Mitch out of the game
Agree.
or one of the other tools,
The other massive contest is the rucks. Isn't it?
yeah, 2 quality rucks, and
Two-
the backups are handy
Is-
too.
Oh, yeah.
Is that one of
Stuck
the
in the
matchups
Cummins.
of the day? Is that like
I think so.
If you were
Yeah.
to look at the ground
I reckon.
and go, what's your most favourite matchup that you're looking forward to going head-to-head?
Yeah.
Cummins
boys have been taking the piss in the last
I like the three-way with the two sources against Duck. That's a good one. That's a good battle.
Yeah, I like Huss probably up against Bayne, to be honest, but it could also be Huss up against Bravo. Just because Bravo's been a ripper nick. Finn's in good nick too, but I just think the two bulls going head-to-head. And I know that we speak about sort of outside stuff, but, you know, it will be very contested, and depending on what the weather does too, you know, it could fall in favour of one side over the other possibly. But I certainly think that matchup in the midfield's the one I'm going to look forward to the most.
So you guys are thinking poor conditions or rain suits Rosebud more?
Dead set.
Because of the bigger bodies.
I think so.
Contest. It's going to stay in contest more.
And you want to take territory, and they've got the big.
But we watched, was it Edie? Down in pretty shit conditions and I were there. And it rained, and it was fairly shit house. And Mt Eliza handled the ball like it was a dry weather day.
Very different team.
Eds
don't play the same brand. I mean, Rosebud.
Yeah, no, I've got that, but I don't think they'd be too concerned about it being wet. But
can I throw in another one in the wet weather? So, Mt Eliza went 91 marks on the weekend, 78 uncontested.
Yeah, right.
So if it's going to be wet, I just reckon that is how they play. That's how they play. They're uncontested.
There's no doubt.
They like it uncontested. They go hard as anything. I'm not questioning that. I'm just saying that you're talking about a contested beast up against a side that likes to use the whole ground, uncontested marks, take the game on. You know, and that's how they're going to win.
Do you think Rikki would change that, Mac? I mean, they would have their sort of go fast mode, whatever they sort of
their gears,
whether it's 99 or they're on John Brown 99. Fuck up, dickhead. But if it is wet, Ricky's that good a coach. He probably knows they're not going to be able to possess the ball. They might just go out and go fucking straight at Rosebud with run, with carry. I've got a feeling, I watched that game live, they would get access to one side of the ground. Now, when they got held up, they couldn't punt. If you make Mt Eliza punt, that's game over. I've got a feeling Rikki will flood one side of the ground, and they will try to run and carry on the fat side. Get numbers out. Get it out of your back half, C shape, and then get some numbers out and run out that side of the ground. They won't get access to corridor. Rosebud are all over that at their ground.
Yeah, they will.
That's a big corridor to cover. So that's what I think Rikki might do. I think he might get him out on one side of the ground and try to get some run out there. That's what I believe. He's got to try and do something a bit different.
That's fair.
Because if they get into a kick long down the line, it is over.
I 100% agree with that. Yeah, they got to.
That's not our go, though. That's never been our go. It's never been.
Their inside 50 pressure stuff's been super this year. They've got a lot of smalls that really pressure hard. And if you, not many weaknesses in a Rosebud football side, but if you've got one, it's their back half.
Yep. They're a bit slower than Mt Eliza boys at ground level.
I just think they're stacked in the middle. Have a look at the players, the names. Go down to Manscow, go down to Carousella. This is without mentioning.
They got 8. They can roll through there.
Yeah. And then you look at the forward line that they've got. Amazing. So it's their back line you want to expose as much as possible. It comes down to that midfield. You know how they can roll through there. The one thing I'll say that Mt Eliza have over Rosebud is structurally, Rikki has a lot more variety in his players to be able to move them around a bit. Phillips can go back, forward, mid, Bob can go back, we can go on the ball, whatever. I really think Rosebud are very much a stock standard side. You probably know how they're going to line up. You know, we saw Dempster out in a wing last week, kick a couple of goals, but he's probably only had 4 or 5 possessions. I just think they're probably more of a, I reckon you can nearly pick how they're going to line up, but I reckon Rikki...
He's got a few
little... Mercedes can go anywhere.
If they're down by 3 goals at quarter time, I guarantee you they won't look the same when they walk back out again. He's just going to move it. So that's probably what they've got over the fact that Rosebud have got, you know, probably a more of a star-studded side.
Yep.
You know what I mean? For the top end.
Yeah, sure. With the day the EDS game and Ricky's messages at each break, we sort of snuck out there. It was really strong on boys. Get the ball to the outside. Get the ball to the outside, and that'll be I think a very similar message around the contest. I think that's one area they could probably expose the Rosebud boys a little. No doubt they're a bit more fleet of foot. So if they can break even with contested footy, hold their balance, maybe they can get some looks and use the ball like they want to use.
Then again, if it's wet and windy, it makes that harder again.
Well, it becomes a surge game then. Plays in their hands.
Jeez,
it's going to be interesting.
I want the rain to stay away.
We
saw an unbelievable grand final on the weekend.
We want 23 degrees and slight breeze. Very nice. Thank you, Jane.
Well, now when you're fucking lucky about this year, it'll be 30 degrees and sunny and no blowing a wind. Fucking kissed on the dick.
Lucky.
Maybe all that money they took, they paid on the weather.
It doesn't get any better in the garage than finals football. I hope you're enjoying it. I think it's time for tips.
Oh, here we go. This is big.
Oh, no, of course. And there was one legend of the game that gave it away in the weekend in one Byron Barry for the YCW Football Club. Great career, Byron. Got chaired off. Everyone was there to clap him off, and it's been a bloody stellar career, mate. And if you go coaching, you're going to be an absolute ripper coach, and you'd be lucky to get him as your mentor. But what a great career! How many GFs?
8 premierships.
Yeah, I reckon Kev's been on the phone to come down to Hastings, have a run around here, boys. But come down, play centre, back with me.
What a career. Byron, you're a bloody legend, mate.
He's a superstar. One of the
what
best.
a legend.
Yeah, well done to you,
Yeah.
Commish. I didn't forget about that. Byron Barry, well done. Champion of the YCW Stone Cats.
Legend.
Unbelievable. Let's get our tips, please, for the upcoming grand final in Division 1. Please, we'll start with you, Chief.
Do you want tips and best on?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
So, just some interesting facts out of Division 2. Each grand final winner came from the preliminary final. Yeah, very interesting. In seniors, reserves and under-19s, all winners came from the prelim.
What's that got to do with your tip?
I'm just so I'm going to reverse that. And
He's got to...
I'm just...
He's still going.
Get to it! You're telling us to wrap it up.
Well, I wasn't telling you to wrap it. I was just twirling my fingers. Nothing else to do. So my tip is Rosebud by 12 points.
Ooh.
And best on ground is Campbell Hustwaite.
Oh, what was a fucking
Wow. It's really...
12 points to Sus. I don't remember that one.
Ooh.
Spoke.
Yeah, I think it'll be a bit closer than people think. I'm not going to don the Mt Eliza jumper this year, and I actually genuinely thought last year they would win.
Yes, you
which
did.
I did.
You did.
This
Made you
year,
sick to the
yeah,
stomach,
it did. It fucking hurt. Jesus Christ, that hurt. I think there are massive chance, Mt Eliza. I just think some of those bigger bodies might stand up at the right time. They are stacked with some very, very high-level players, and when push comes to shove this week, I think they'll just do enough to get across the line. I'll sit Rosebud by about 15 points. And I'm going to steal your boy because he was my boss, knobbed him off 4 years ago. Liam Tidd will be best on ground.
Yeah, very
Absolutely.
excellent.
Yeah, he's
very
unbelievable.
good
Commish, I dare ask.
I've got my mob by 14 points.
Rosebud, what?
My mob
What?
by 14
Mob?
points in an absolute beauty. With
By how many points,
Will,
sorry?
14. Will Bravo has never been fitter. The boy is ripped, and he'll be best on.
Okay,
like
I
it.
think we're all expecting that, Macca.
Yeah, I've been stewing over this last couple. I knew,
It was
honestly, I just,
It's a bloody tough one.
Is
I
it
just
one of
can't
them?
pick
Is
it,
a-
and I'm
Yeah,
listening.
it is.
Flip
It's
of
a
the coin. I don't think
well,
it is.
I just think I would have said. I've been saying Rosebud all year. They're a cracking side. They're unbelievable. I don't know.
Come on, man.
I think Mt Eliza will win it.
Oh, nah. That's how much respect you got for Rikki. Yep, I'm close.
Yeah, no, fair. That's fair.
I just think this is a different side than what we watched weeks ago.
Yeah,
The game that was played at Rosebud
Yep.
late in the year, they've got half a dozen players different to that, and they're in ripping nick. I take that last quarter away. The YC had to throw everything at it. That was the end of their season. They're on a holiday if they didn't do something about it. And I reckon Mt Eliza were looking at the week after. They were so far ahead.
Human nature.
I'm honestly, I'm going to say this. The weather worries me a little bit because if it rains, I just think it's going to be very hard to beat Rosebud in the wet. But I'm going to say it's going to hold off a bit.
Hang on. Jane, we got you, Jane?
Yes.
That's not
What
Jane,
do we got?
fun.
Fucking hell, Jane.
What's it looking like, Jane?
It's looking a bit showery.
Fucking hell, Sus.
Right.
Get your tits
Showery.
out. Show us your tits, Jane. He's dropped everything. He's fucking gone.
Jane Bunn.
Jane Brunn. She's dropped her dildo.
You good,
Folks, if you could see what we could
Oh, shit.
I'll go 7 points.
Seven
I
points.
just think it's going to be a really, really tight. I'm just going to say Mt Eliza this year.
see. Best on.
Okay.
You took Bravo off me. I think Bravo played really, really well.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Phillips.
Yeah,
good.
I took him.
Yeah.
Hey, good play.
Yeah.
Good play. How
Okay.
about you, Herpes?
I think Rosebud. I've got a little something coming up for the Rosebud boys too. When they get around me, yeah, absolutely.
Not
Do
sharing
they
it
get
with us?
around you, do they?
Yeah,
Not sharing it?
No, it's just something coming up. But for when they get here, don't you worry about that. So Rosebud by 14. And I was going to go Tiddy, but then I was going to go Campbell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Billy. I'll go Billy Hartung for...
Billy Hartung in a big game.
Yeah.
Righto,
Nah,
Experience.
not his type of game.
It's
I
my
don't reckon.
fucking tip, so leave me be.
Yeah, no.
And
if Rosebud get up, I'm going to turn my bin round the other way. So you have to get out of the fucking truck to turn around the right way because it doesn't flip.
It's upside down. Don't you worry about that.
If Rosebud went out when you go past, he's been sitting there. Just leave it there. Jump on top of the lid and just take a massive shit on it.
If Mt Eliza get up,
He wouldn't
Just drive off.
He wouldn't dare.
with a $100 bill sitting there.
I bet he doesn't even leave something for Christmas either.
Actually, no, half a dozen stubbies for the
good
bloke
man,
driving the
good
truck,
man.
usually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very
Normally.
good. That is a wrap for the review. Coming up next, we've got Rosebud. As I said at the top, a couple of times now, Rosebud, good representation in Danny Ades, senior coach, and the captain is, of course, Campbell Hustwaite. And then joining us from Mt Eliza, we have... who have we got, please?
We have got Finlay Bayne and Rikki Johnston. A couple of very nice individuals.
Rikki J, of course. Now I've decided I'm going to throw you in with Rikki. All right?
So you want a decent interview?
Yeah, I'll throw you
Pretty
in
hard,
a hot seat.
pretty hard to talk when you've got a massive erection.
Oh no, exactly. That's what I'm hoping for. Hopefully, it
I'll
just
try
comes through.
and keep it
Old
together.
Little
But it's-
silver fox there just comes through. And,
The old salt and pepper.
Now the goons is out.
Yeah, goons.
Yeah.
Did you have a tattoo in Neil? How was he?
No, I didn't. I didn't feel as though it was the right time. And there was a lot of people in their rooms. In both rooms, it was chock-a-block. So, no. But I will.
Yep.
Rosebud will be coming up. You are listening and watching the Halftime Heroes.
Looking for unbeatable deals on new and used Toyotas? Head to Frankston Toyota, where great service meets great value. From rugged Hilux to fuel-efficient Corolla, we've got the perfect car for every driver. And right now, crazy low finance rates for selected models. Come see why locals trust Frankston Toyota. Just off the freeway. Easy to find, hard to beat. T's and C's apply. Visit frankstontoyota.com.au today.
Welcome back to the Halftime Heroes. Thanks to Toyota, Frankston, Mornington and Rosebud, a fantastic sponsor of the Halftime Heroes. Now, boys, can I just, before I get started, can you just take it? Just wait. Hang on 2 seconds. I just need to just fix something up, please.
Here we go.
Here we go, boys are in the house. Here we go with the buds.
Oh, fucking hell. This is
It
like
is
the
grand
commish.
final Sunday, Division 1, and joining us in the garage, we have senior coach of the Rosebud Football Netball Club, Danny Ades, and the captain of the Rosebud Football Netball Club, Campbell Hustwaite, joining us in the garage. Hello to you, boys.
Thanks for having us.
How are you?
Good.
You
A
pumped?
Yeah, a lot.
Dan?
lot of people
Heaps
to know.
from you, mate.
We didn't even set that up, actually.
No,
You already had that
absolutely
on.
not. No,
They won't believe it.
I've had all day to think about that.
He didn't even inform us he was going to do
No,
that.
no,
I
just
like
what you
it.
do.
Bit of comedy,
you got to
mate,
keep
I like it.
everyone on their toes. Boys, congratulations firstly to making it. You've had an absolute stellar year and making it into the grand final in season 2025 in Division 1 football. So a huge achievement. And what's the feeling around the group?
Oh, it's good. Around the club more so. So
Yeah.
the group's excited, but just the club as a whole has been sort of riding this wave all season, and it's just been good, just been positive. So no, everyone's sort of excited for the weekend, that's for sure.
Yep. Campbell?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, had a slip up on the weekend with the development team.
Yeah.
But the club's been a pretty special place the last month or so.
It has,
so,
hasn't it?
Yeah, it was sort of uncharted territory for us. So
Yep.
yeah, everyone's rallying around us. We've got some of the best support in the league. So yeah, it's going to be pretty special this weekend.
You do one of the best clubmen in the league, and I find on the planet, Lockie White, he'll be going absolutely cocoa bananas with his flags and banners and all that kind of shit because he's just nuts, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got the iPhone, GoPro, he's got the big bloody selfie stick. He's got it all. He's got it all. He's a great
I know
man.
Danny follows you around like a bad smell doing
mate,
stuff for
he's
you
got
as well.
some evidence on me that yeah. I think he's filmed every like quarter time, half time, 3/4 time address I've done in 3 years. So
That's pretty good to have
it's actually very good.
for
yeah.
bloody oath.
Early on, it actually probably taught me a couple of things, and I was like,
Bloody
okay,
oath.
maybe calm down. But no, he sends that through to me on a Saturday night or a Sunday, and I'll watch through it, and there's stuff you learn from it for sure. Who's paying attention, who's not?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, boys, I know you guys want to speak about as you, Macca, and you spoke about obviously the last time Rosebud met Mt Eliza. So take us away with that.
I'd say digged. They didn't meet them, they digged them.
Well, I want to unpack it a little bit because I got a bit around that. So 22 shots at goal to 23. They kicked 6-17, so a little bit wayward. 29-point margin in the end. But the usual suspects in the best. Huss yourself were in there, and Billy was in there, and White. Gowan, I think Nance Gowan possibly. So, when you look at that, I think overall the game looked fairly close. And I wasn't there. You were there, I think, Spook.
Yep.
I guess when you're playing against them, there's a couple of players that they didn't have playing in that game, and I think Dixon, he's crucial to you blokes, and you're missing him too. But they'll look a little bit different with Bob in their side now too, and I have a funny feeling Freeman might not have played in that game as well. So it'll look a little bit different from a player's point of view, but do you guys take a lot of confidence out of that game, having, Luke will say sort of outplayed them that day, but, the figures would show it was fairly close, but do you take a lot of confidence out of beating them twice, but more recently?
You go, mate.
Yeah. Like,
Don't get much out
we
of it.
we circled.
Quiet coach.
Oh, just poke him with a stick, make sure he's fucking alive.
We circled that one like earlier on in the year. We had a big month to finish with. We circled that from the start, and our sort of aim at that stage was to end their season because that was sort of what was on the cards if we could have beaten them.
Oh, yeah, Stephen Bradbury moment. We talked about that.
Yeah, but for about 5 minutes after the game, because our game actually finished early, as we were walking off the ground behind their coach's box, they erupted with about, maybe 5 minutes after our game finished because they made finals. So we ticked that box that day. But like you said, they got a few different ins, hit some bloody good form since that day. So, not a completely different team, but, we do take confidence out of that solid win in the last round.
And last time you played them too, the two twins had, and maybe Steve possibly more, they had a bit of a field day in the middle. And Duck's a good ruckman, but when you look at the differences in that game, it was certainly through clearance. You would have had a fair bit of a say in that, Huss. But I feel like I reckon you got a little bit of ascendancy there. Do you feel good confidence in the fact that for the most part, you'll get first use? And one thing I did notice about this game where you got them heavily was at boundary throw-in. You guys scored quite heavily off boundary throw-in, which means you're getting first use of the big fella and yourself and White and those blokes running through there. But would you say that's an area you could do a lot of work on?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you only got to go back 12 months, and Carey won the medal on this day last year. But I feel like Steve's been the second best ruck in the comp behind Big Billy.
For a while.
Four midfielders took up the team of the year spots on the bench, but I thought our big fella could have had that for sure. One of those. He's I probably should have sent him a message to say thanks for. He looks after me very well. But we've always said from 11 months ago when we started pre-season, it's going to be one of the backbones of our game is that clearance stuff, and they got some good players in the middle, but that's something we pride ourselves on.
And probably that he was super in your win against YCW in the third quarter. He was absolutely super in that third quarter. But the other bloke who stepped up, and I see him as a little bit unheralded because I've done a fair bit of homework on you blokes over the last sort of 12 months, but Nance Gowan was super in that third quarter through the middle for you guys as well. Is he someone he's probably not... Would I be right in saying that he doesn't necessarily start as your main on ball in your main on ball brigade? He's sort of in and out of that?
Well, he would have been... He was 12 months ago, and he's one of our top mids for sure.
Yeah.
His first hands off the ruck is some of the best that I've played with. Played with some pretty good players. His reflexes are so sharp. We just sort of cleaned up a little bit of his disposal, but the last month he's in the best form I've seen him in for ages.
Yep. I just want to ask Danny, Dennis, your third year now?
Yep.
So I remember I was in the Prem comp when you're there. Is this where you thought you would be? Because there's been a good build, so you got there, brought a few more, and then now it's really consolidated with the right recruits and quite targeting. Now it's like this is the time to go. So it's sort of been perfect with the build.
Yeah, it's I think we went 5 wins, 9 wins, and scraped on a percentage last year. So to go a further 7 and 16 and 2 this year is probably a little keener than I thought we were going to be. To be in a grand final this year, I think I had this chat with you 12 months ago, and I probably thought it was a year or two away. But yeah, like that was always the aim. Like to come in sort of with a bit of a clean slate and try and build something has been one of my favourite parts. This bug's all around me. One of my favourite parts of the job. So to get some reward for effort and be in this position now is definitely something that we sort of envisaged, but maybe a year earlier than we thought. Yep. I think. But no, a lot of work's gone into it. We tinker a lot. Yep. So a lot goes into the program. But yeah, no, it's good to sort of have the opportunity this week.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And I watched, I hadn't seen you this year, I watched last year, but I think out of all the teams I know Mt Eliza won the flag last year, but the way you set the game up, the contest, you're a contest team, you got big bodies, it's built for Frankston Park, Grant, to be honest. I know Zach Horsley Dingley's built his team to beat at his stadium in the Southern League, and he's built, your team is cherry ripe to be on that ground. And your strengths probably the Mt Eliza weaknesses, and then maybe the one thing you guys got though, you can get on the outside now too, so that's their one wood. Sort of shapes up as a great game of footy. I just think that's the way you'll get them with the big bodies. You are a big, strong team. It's impressive to watch.
And I'll pick up on that. I was just looking at some numbers from last time they played, scoring sources. So these guys mid-turnover, 7 goals too. So 53% of their scoring came from that mid-turnover, so the pressure through the middle of the ground. And then when you're sitting with White Kuipers, when he rests down there, White Kuipers and Dixon forward, it's a monster. It's a three-headed monster up there. And if they're isolated a bit, I know Freen maybe gets down there as a small or whatever, but if they're isolated, it makes it really difficult for Mt Eliza when that ball, if it's getting turned over mid-third. Honestly, those repeat entries from these guys are frightening.
Absolutely. The one thing, the round 18 game, and I'm not just potting them because Neilsy and I like the shit story, but I thought that the contested footy stuff, I thought you bullied them, to be honest. It was just more of the old Mt Eliza. I thought you were too big, too strong. Yeah. They didn't really want the contest, but the last 2 weeks, hats off, a few of their boys have stood up and they've sort of lifted that. And Ricky's messaging last week was all about getting the ball to the outside. But you look at the body types. Like Finn O'Neill's not a big boy. They had Fraser Phillips in there. Yep. And then Finlay Bayne, like they're not big boys, but they were shoveling out and getting it to the outside.
No, they crack in. I think that's a little overrated, that narrative. Like that may have been the case a few years ago, but just watch YCW are huge as well, and that was fierce on the weekend. So we don't feed into that at all. Like I know they play with a lot of width, but how they get it there, it's not like they just sort of sit outside and wait for it to shovel out. They go in and find it.
Yeah, for sure.
No, they're honest in the midfield. Yeah. Carey's just like you said. Like I actually feel like he's moving better now than he was a month ago as well. Okay. Like we played them round 18, and then we hosted 2 finals the next 2 weeks at our ground. So we've watched them for a month straight. And I just feel like Carey is moving a lot better than he was 4 weeks ago. So. Which is super for us, but yeah, no, we'll have our work cut out.
They I was watching them even on the. I've watched them really closely now for 2 weeks, and they're definitely playing better footy. They had 7 out of the top 10 possession getters yesterday because they possessed the footy. They want to possess the footy. They want to hold on to it and keep it off you. They couldn't do that against you last time because I was just looking at the difference in how they tried to keep the footy off YC yesterday compared to if they could do it against you. Only in stats because I didn't watch that game live. I definitely watched yesterday. But their numbers are big and they do have a lot of... They don't rely necessarily heavily on anybody. And we talked last week about Bravo certainly has lifted his game and O'Neill and Bayne in the middle to try and flip it on the outside. But that'll, I guess, be a challenge for you guys is depending... We'll talk weather and that soon because that is going to probably play its part too, but they want to possess. So will you put, the numbers don't lie. Last time, 53% turnover mid-half. Is it a focus of yours or does that just happen because you press so high?
I'm not going to give too much away, but we have a plan for every team. Yep. It's different for every team. We have a plan for Mornington. So we know what Mt Eliza's strengths are, and we don't shift too much from what our system is. But when sides are clearly have an advantage in something that they do, we put a bit of work into it. So I won't dive into it too much, but we'll be prepared.
Absolutely.
I watched last time when they won the ball across their half-back time last time. I heard that Mitch was screaming at the forwards to get up through the middle hard to take away that don't give them corridor, and they flicked the ball out fat side. But what they didn't do is get numbers out that side to be able to move the ball. So they took one kick out there, then they were stuck there. So they didn't get corridor. Then they didn't have numbers on the fat side of the ground. Then you just pinned him in there. I'm thinking, for me, Rikki might start to flood one side of the ground, maybe chain Hemel. He's going to have to do something because they're not going to get corridor access. They know what's going on there. So the matchup and how Rikki, because how good a coach he is. Yep. What's Rikki kept up his sleeve? And I'm sure Danny's got the same. That's neither of them are going to fucking tell us.
No.
But that'll be the given you played them so recently and how it unfolded. The interesting part is in game. If they've either coach has kept something up their sleeve, and how do you adapt when it happens, which is going to be the great thing to watch on the day.
Question, Danny. I came and watched you. I live in Rosebud, so I came and watched you guys train the other night, and I noticed before you came to
trying to recruit.
Incognito at the back, kicking with his son. Everyone from
I knew you were there.
Bullshit,
I didn't know it was him, but I'm like, this guy has been here for a long time.
It's a long kick with your kid.
His kid was falling asleep.
Oh, that did happen. He's like, Dad, did we come for a kick?
That's gold.
That did happen. Anyway, I'm not playing you this week, so I wasn't having a night off, but I did enjoy watching it. I noticed you're on the back oval to mimic our oval a little bit, try and get a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
Is there a plan around putting some cones down to make it a little bit thinner on your ground? Because let's be honest, there was a lot of out in the full in that game again on the weekend because they just weren't used to it. So surely you're doing a little bit of work on that.
Well, we got to training Tuesday and Whale had painted the width of Frank's.
That doesn't surprise me.
I was about to say you haven't walked too far because on the front oval there's painted lines.
Yeah, I haven't actually been on that. I watched
it. So we obviously can't replicate the length. I don't think anyone can with that oval, but we've already tapered our oval for the last 3. We've done 3 sessions to the width of the ground already. So
well done.
we're prepared.
Yeah. Love it.
Very good. So, Spook, have you got anything to add?
No, I was just going to ask the boys. We've asked the Div 2 boys. Give us your best on, boys. So who do you think, other than your great self, you're probably a $1.10 favourite, to be honest. Who do you think will be best on after your win? And then who's going to be best on with the week and a half or 2 weeks of party? I was told on Saturday by a few boys that Danny parties very hard, doesn't do it very often, but Danny is in some form. So it might be Danny.
I think a couple of beers and I'll be in a bit of strife, so whether we win or lose. Best on playing-wise...
Good luck trying to pick that.
I'll give it to Liam Tidd.
I was going to say him. Superstar.
I just think that so like grand finals, like you speak about Rikki holding something up his sleeve and me potentially having some tactic stuff, and we do. But I think everyone that's playing grand finals understands that fundamentals are just the key. Like so, the team that's settles the most or the quickest, and understands that just executing the basics is probably the key to sort of going places in a grand final. That's the advantage, and Liam Tidd's probably our cleanest player. So that's where I go with
Phenomenal.
that.
22 years old.
He could probably
go the double.
He might go the double, That'd be good
off the field.
Yeah, really. Double, how good's that? Yeah, beautiful. Double normie. Good on him.
Boys, before we let you leave the garage, just Dan Campbell, what does this week look like in the lead up? I mean, it's it's the big dance and it's Sunday.
So good question. So tomorrow you'll notice that we're probably late getting on the track the other week. So we'll do Vision Tuesday tomorrow, Oppo specific. Not to be dismissive of YC, but we felt like we were pretty prepared with YC. So we started putting some attention into the way that Mt Eliza moved the footy because it's very different to YCW last week. So we'll go into some specifics regarding those tactics that you sort of want to get out of us. And we'll go through the vision of that. We'll then train that tomorrow. And then Thursday will be more of a just sort of a bit of a captain's run, and then we'll discuss whether we do a little bit of something on Saturday. We probably will, but that'll be more for the supporters.
Yeah,
get down,
that's awesome.
Flush the legs, have a barbecue, something like that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Very, very.
And
what about
I was about to say you better not leak that yet, but I forgot that this goes to air on Wednesday night. The secrets on Tuesday night. Should be hidden until Wednesday. For me, a lot of people sort of just say it's another game, but I sort of like to play into it. It's a special occasion. The amount of people you speak to that don't get the opportunity to play in a grand final, or the blokes that are lucky enough to win one. They look back at it so fondly as it's usually most blokes' favourite accolade when they get to the end of their career. So I sort of will put in a little bit of extra prep, did extra recovery just for a little hour training session on Sunday. So I'll make sure our cherry ripe come Sunday.
Just well done on the league best and fairest.
Thank you.
Yes,
massive.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Do you know that when you play against Mornington, we're not going to let you run by yourself? Does anyone run with you, Mt Eliza, in the last 2 games?
Nah, not usually. Not usually, which I enjoy that. There's a few teams where you get a little bit.
The top, like YCW don't either. Mt Eliza don't. Dramana definitely don't.
I guess it's back in your system. Like, we look at it and we go, we're a really young side, so we have to limit impact of the best players. So we put a bit of time into it now. We don't do it against everyone, by the way, but we just look at your numbers.
I like the way you do it as well. So you're giving kids an opportunity to come up from another line to get involved in the play. So whereas a Mt Eliza is not going to sacrifice a starting mid to clamp someone. They might send someone in from a line, but I don't know. Whenever you tag, I feel like you're down to 17 men, and we can really open the field. So like, I don't think they will do that, but.
I personally do enjoy it as well, because I sort of feel like as long as I'm clean, they're not going to take too much away from my strengths. But often with the better teams, you'll get the same matchup at a stoppage. So I might identify that I want to play on Finlay Bayne every stoppage, or vice versa. You get them to come to me. But after the ball spills, there's sort of not a lot that happens after it. You're sort of back in your own system. The only 2 times we played them, it's been that way. I wouldn't pick it to be any different on Sunday, but always prepared.
I'd love to see you go head to head with Bravo. I reckon
Bravo's in some form. Yeah, it's a good matchup. That
Yeah.
Has many teams put time into Will Gown this year? I think his first year I was still at Bombers, and I just sat there. And he took, I don't know how many fucking marks he took. I'm like, but that's the position you can have a defensive forward. Midfield's harder, but
so they do. The 2 that get sat on the most is him and Billy.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, we're pretty good in the contest, and it's sometimes hard to stop.
Yeah.
Like sacrificing someone just to throw another number in there, it doesn't happen a lot with us. But like your receivers, like that's sort of the guys that are sort of instructed to get fed the footy.
Yep.
They're the ones you can put a bit of time to. I find that halfbacks that mark are really hard. Like personally,
hard to stop.
Really hard to stop, because you can't do it fairly. You can't do it legally.
Yeah, it's true.
So like if you put time into a Will Gown behind the ball and you're checking him and not letting him run on the footy, it's a free kick.
Yeah.
Whereas your Billies, I think, if you get someone a couple of guys in his face and that, just to stop him from getting those handball receives, that's a bit easier to stop. But no, they are the 2 probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Campbell gets a bit of attention, but like every team in the Division 1's mids are so good.
Yeah.
So like no one likes sacrificing.
That's fair.
So.
Just one more, Danny. Who's given you, outside of Mackie, because I know the Mornington fantastic coaching staff, who's given you the most trouble in game for you to coach against?
No, Lee does a good job. He throws a few tags around.
He's very impressive. The man.
He's good. All the coaches are good. Do you know who gave me the most trouble? Not so much this year, probably due to cattle, but Jamie Molloy always gave me
he
gave me
Neil's
big
mate.
problems.
Neil doesn't rate him. Neil fucking can't stand him.
No, he and Paddy would have a lot of moving parts. So like. I don't know if it gives you much trouble, but it gives you something to think about. And I think all coaches are a bit of an overthinker.
Yeah.
So, like, your sort of eyes get drawn to things that maybe they shouldn't with tactical coaches like that. And, someone would start here and then all of a sudden they're gone from here to here and someone's rolled around. And he would do it with Ross a lot last year. And that's someone that if you're not on the ball with and you don't like the matchup, they can just hurt you.
Yeah.
And they were a good side last year. So he's probably the one that I go to straight away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very good, boys. Well, thanks for joining us, the Halftime Heroes in Suss's Garage. Good luck
go
for
get
this
'em, boys.
Sunday.
No worries. Thanks
You
for having
are,
us.
of course, taking on Mt Eliza at Kinetic Stadium in Frankston on, what was the date? The 21st? The 21st of September. Each day's rolling around to each other these days.
They have the whole peninsula on their back, these boys. Don't worry about that. It's going to be a big crowd down there. Come on, Rosebud.
Let's hope the rain stays away, because for a spectacle, I reckon the rain's going to suit them, by the way. But let's hope the spectacle is rain staying away.
Well, there was 5,100 people at Kinetic Stadium for the on Saturday for the Division 2 Grand Final. Let's top that and go even bigger to watch 2 great clubs, one being Rosebud and one being Mt Eliza. Thanks for joining us. Senior coach of the Rosebud Football Netball Club, Danny Ades, and the I know you don't like personal accolades, but the best and fairest league, best and fairest in Division 2, and captain, Division 1, and the captain of Rosebud Football Netball Club, Campbell Hustwaite. Thanks, boys, for joining us, and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you very much,
boys.
gents.
Kick ass.
Appreciate it.
We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back very, very shortly. You're listening and watching the Halftime Heroes.
Looking for unbeatable deals on new and used Toyotas? Head to Frankston Toyota, where great service meets great value. From rugged Hilux to fuel-efficient Corolla, we've got the perfect car for every driver. And right now, crazy low finance rates for selected models. Come see why locals trust Frankston Toyota. Just off the freeway. Easy to find, hard to beat. T's and C's apply. Visit frankstontoyota.com.au today.
Welcome back to the Halftime Heroes. Thanks to Frankston, Mornington and Rosebud Toyota, our magnificent sponsors on the peninsula. Hey, the show's been great, but it's just about to get greater. Because we've got the Mt Eliza
Neil
boys
just got a
in
bit
here
firm.
now.
Yay,
Rikki
commish.
J and Finlay Bayne have walked into the room. Just add a little bit of class there, Macca, to the show. And it's fantastic, boys. Welcome aboard. Well done. Into another Division 1 Grand Final on Sunday. But before we get to the intel questions, I need to know from the coaches and players' point of view, the last 5 or 6 minutes against YCW on Sunday, yesterday, Rikki, did your heart rate go up above 55?
Yeah, that was a little bit too close for my liking, to be honest.
Take us inside the coaching.
We tried everything. There wasn't much we could do to stop it, to be honest. It was
Insane.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those things where I think when you're playing that style that they are, you're kind of going with reckless abandonment. There's lots of good shit that can happen. We couldn't get them the other way either, so we had a shot. I had a couple of shots the other way, couldn't score, and they just kept coming. To their credit, fuck, it was impressive.
Rikki, did you swear then?
Nah, sorry.
You're allowed to.
Now, Finn, you come off about the 10-minute mark. At the 10 or 12-minute mark, we're 40. I'm going to say we're all night.
That's why
we're 43-odd points in front, thinking happy days. So Finn comes off, sticks his thongs on, thinking, I'm not going back out there. That's bullshit. Thongs come off, socks on, boots on. But
there was
from the player's point of view, what was the in the middle? Because you went straight to the middle. What was the talk in there? With 6 minutes to go.
I mean, it was so hard. Like Rick was saying, the momentum is. It's a funny thing.
It's real, isn't it?
They were going helter-skelter inside and we were chasing tail, and then the ball just kept bouncing their way.
Yeah, it did.
And then there's just times where you try everything, you can't stop, and you sort of just got to do whatever you can to sit on the ball and take the sting out of it. But yeah, to their credit, like the way they played in the last, however, 20 or so minutes really sort of really challenged us. And yeah, I don't know. We were super lucky the siren came when it did. I reckon I looked over to the bench about 15 times in the last 2 minutes trying to work out how much longer we had left.
Yeah.
It was, I honestly still feel sick about it now. It was kind of, it's just a surreal feeling when the momentum's going against you like that and you can do bugger all to stop it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we did it, and no one remembers the scores of prelim. So
I love that. The big boy gave it to me today as well.
I've copied that from him.
Now, boys, some intelligent questions.
I was just going to ask Rick, just on that, Rick. So when the game turns like that and you're losing momentum, would you then try and just find a mark, take a bit of time off the clock? Yeah, I know, but like you've got to try to find a mark and just slow it down, because if you go at them to try the score, it sort of might open up more.
So you want to play gears, obviously, so you go down a gear and you try and get numbers around the ball, and we slid 7th back, and then we had an 8th back, and then that ended up them having spares coming off the front of the square, and so then we sent one back around, and it was just a bit of a nightmare. So, and then I think there were set shots going through from 60 out, so there was a big breeze going that way. But anyway, we
and no one would question the fitness of your club, because you'd be just about the fittest club in the comp. But I sort of looked at it as, you watch that second quarter, and they've kicked up until three-quarter time. I think they had 2 goals on the board, maybe 3. You watch that second quarter where they just didn't use the breeze as well as they could. If you guys played really well, but I wouldn't sit back and go, you ran out of legs. It wasn't that at all. It was just, they were just coming hard. They just threw the kitchen sink at you. And I noticed Barry took a cracking mark in front of their coach's box, and I can't remember which one of your players did it. He actually knocked the ball out of his hand. I don't know if you saw this. So Barry takes his cracker mark in a pack, comes down. As he goes to kick it, one of your players hits the ball out of his hand, and as it's bobbling in the air, Barry grabs it. I'm sitting here going, if he lets that go, that's a 50-metre penalty. He's having a shot on goal to win the game, but he didn't. He played on, and then I think they might have gone to half-forward contest. Nelms flew in a massive pack, and we all know that he missed out last year. Flew in a massive pack through his body. I reckon he landed on his head. The ball bubbles out. Siren goes. You guys win. Moments in games. You know what I mean? It's just all that, isn't it? You know, when it comes down to it.
Yeah, and I think there's something that comes into prelims as well. Like, we're out by 51 points, and you can't blame the players for almost going to a place where a bit of I'm going to go 90% here. I want to stay in one piece. I want to be, and so you flick off that easy, and all of a sudden a good side smells it, and then it's coming. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I reckon Nelma lifted. I watched the round 18 game, boys, when Rosebud beat you, and then the following week. And I've been slightly critical at Nelma at times, but I tell you
He
what,
missed out last year, Luke.
He played that first final like he'd missed out. He was that you mentioned. He come off the line and hit a contest. Fucking hell, and it set the tone. And I thought your pressure went from that round 18 game to the two finals. There was a vastly different looking Mt Eliza to the round 18 game, which is exciting for this Saturday. And Nelma's efforts were huge over the finals. I reckon he's been massive.
So Rosebud have got us a couple of times this year, not by huge margins, by enough. Hey?
Us, we.
I've said before, I'm going to keep saying us.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Yes,
of course it is.
Going to have to change things up a little bit. On the forecast isn't as bad as what we thought. I saw 16 degrees and it looks okay.
Jane Bunn.
Doesn't look too bad.
20
mil rain.
5 to 10. 5 to 10.
Perfect.
I reckon it'll be all right.
Great.
Learnings out of the two games prior. I mean, obviously you got to work this week and pull it apart as much as you can, but you can only pull it apart so much, boys, can't you? And then just go play. But the good players come to play, and away we go. But how much work goes into it now from the point of view of you two guys?
I mean, the way that I see Rosebud is that it's incredibly disciplined, and they just absolutely bang their process in regardless of how the outcome sort of reads. So, I mean, it's sort of staying level with that, not being impatient, not trying to break through things when they're not there. And it's just going to be a battle of patience, trusting your process. And I guess, obviously, we back ours in, they'll back theirs in, and whatever sort of stands up stronger on the day will win. I think it sounds cliche, but it's pretty simple.
Yeah,
like, don't get impatient and try and manufacture anything that's not there.
Yeah, sure. And Rikki, just do it again. Let's do it again.
Yeah, look, I don't think we've had our best side on the park or even close to it against Rosebud. So you put Freezer at one end and Bob at the other, and I think they're probably two of the more influential players in the league, and to have that luxury to be able to kind of move them around. And I thought Bob in the second quarter on the weekend was probably the difference in the end.
Yeah.
So that's going to give us a different look. At the end of the day, they're well-deserved favourites for the way that they've played all year, but that means very little now. So as I've said today, and we've never gone into a grand final. This is my fourth grand final coaching. I've never gone in as a favourite, and it means very little. And sometimes I think there's actually an advantage the other way. So I look at Rosebud right now. They played twice in a month. They've had a pretty soft run in. There's a lot of upside for us. We're kind of battle hardened now, and we've had some good, tight, hard contests over the last couple of weeks, and I think that bodes well for a good lead in.
Yeah. I think you're right too. When we look at Devon Meadows on the weekend, you know what I mean, like the underdogs as well, massive underdogs, and then got it done, and exciting to watch that from them. You spoke about. I was going to ask you about Bob and Freeman. O'Neill's the other one that didn't play last time you played against them, and probably for them, they've got Dixon back from the last time you played him as well. I want to know, because I was breaking down some stats on last time you played them, and I've also watched you guys play the last couple of weeks in regards to your ball movement, your I-50 stuff. I've been a big rap of your inside 50 pressure. Lambert provides a lot of that, but you've got a couple other blokes who support him in that, because he obviously gets up high off the back of the stoppages a little bit, but works back. When you play against Rosebud, this is two sides who, I believe, get a lot of their scores in two different parts of that forward 50. You guys are a very shallow goal-kicking side. We saw O'Neill both O'Neills kick a couple of goals in the weekend. We saw Nelma get on the end of one to help with the breeze. But they're a deep I-50 side when you've got, the cattle they've got nice and deep. So I guess that's going to be the battle of both sides. But what would you got a big challenge there in the way that that they're going to have Kuipers deep. You know that White will go down there at times. You know that Dixon will go down at times. So I know you'll back your guys one-on-one. Without giving away too much, who have you got set blokes that have done really well on those guys recently?
That's a great question.
It's a long one.
Yeah. So I think we
Did you fall asleep?
So,
Gotta wake your old bugger up. Have you go, Neil? That's the first bloke who's ever fallen asleep. First bloke who's ever fallen asleep with a fucking heart on.
I normally wake up like that.
Steph, get off. Sorry.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, we think now, like when we've got, so I think Burton was the other one that didn't play, Declan Cole didn't play. So it gives us a lot more flexibility. All of a sudden, Declan goes in and, Fraser can play back, Finn can play back, Burton can play back. Fletcher's had a really good year down back, and he's probably a good matchup for Dixon. And then there's 3 genuine key position players that we can mix through there as well. So, look, we feel like we probably match up as well against them as anyone, and we feel like probably we're as good a match-up as they're going to get in relation to personnel. So, yeah, look, it's one of those things that we put our best foot forward and we trust our boys to do the jobs.
Yeah. And on that, we spoke a few weeks ago and we mentioned obviously to Rosebud, the Rosebud coaching staff too, because coming into the last game of the year, you need to either win, you need Mornington to win.
You let us down.
We let you down.
Yeah, weakest piss, mate.
We let you down. Or the one that probably wasn't going to happen was that Pines were going to beat Dramana. So you needed also, you're looking, I don't know, you guys don't get it done, then we don't get it done. And then probably the one that no one would have expected gets you in. And then all of a sudden, my first thinking was,
good luck.
I don't reckon Rosebud want you in the finals.
No, they do not.
That was my thinking.
Yep.
And Rosebud's been the form side of the whole year, and I'm not discounting the fact that they go in as favourites on the weekend, but I just think you guys are the ones they don't want in there. So, but this is why for us it bodes to be a super grand final.
Yeah, and I think like if you break down our whole season, it's been a bloody difficult year for a number of different reasons. So we started the year, we had senior players that weren't available. I think we rolled into round 1 with 7 or 8 players that weren't available. We'll use 49 players, so the combination of different guys was 5 or 6 changes every week. This will be the first week this week where we go into selection. If we make any moves, we're making moves because we think we can get better, not because we're forced to. So that's a nice kind of feeling. We've had no continuity. I look at other lists. I look at a Dramana and I look at these other clubs and I think, geez, if they were down to 49, they'd have the bootstrapper running out there. And that's kind of like we've been able to hang tough. And, yeah, we needed some luck to go our way, but sometimes you need luck to go your way. Yeah. And you know what? I keep selling it to the boys. This could be one of the best. This could be one of the best premierships ever if we can get this done from where we've come from.
I was going to ask that, Rick. I mean, last year was such an amazing performance, and you probably weren't favourites going into that game either, and you managed to win it. But with this one, I mean, you've won. Is this your fourth?
Yep.
Will this one mean a little bit more, given the dramas with the slow start to the season, expectation now, and you sort of climbed your way up to making it? Would this one mean a bit more to you personally?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we've learned a lot about each other as a group as well. Like I've had some frustrations this year just around different stuff, and I've got really good coaches around me that have kind of said, hey, like early on in the year, I was thinking this is going to be a big lesson for this group because I think that we've probably not. So the year before, bulletproof. Pre-season was amazing. We had numbers on the track. We had all the senior players. We just got a little bit distracted for whatever reason. And I thought this year was going to be the big kick in the arse that everyone needed to recalibrate, and off we go. But we kind of did it on the fly. And then we just got to the back half of the year. I don't think we were in the 5 until, round 14 or something. So, and then we started to get a bit of momentum, and then some belief starts to build, and you hit form, and all of a sudden it's anyone's game. You just got to stay alive. So,
Finn, I want to ask you a question. When we've played against you this year, we've ran a kid on you. We just want to limit your influence a bit out there, and when obviously we're sitting sort of bottom 5 at the moment, so we need to obviously shut out the best players of some opposition sides, and you're certainly one of those. In regards to Rosebud, I'm pretty confident that they don't run tags from what I've watched this year. So question number 1 is it enjoyable, obviously, to get an opportunity to play against them, and did they tag you? And the second thing I just want to know was on the weekend I noticed that Small went to Bravo. You would have been pretty happy them not running with you?
Yeah, I mean, on the Rosebud thing, they traditionally just back themselves in. And we do the same most of the time as well. So I think I really enjoy playing on players like Campbell and Reed, because you learn a lot, but then they also force you to compete. So I guess when you go to someone like that, when there's no real tag, you're always forced to be held accountable in a way, because if you go loose or you gamble, often you're going to get burnt the other way. So, I mean, that's traditionally the way Rosebud goes. And then, I did see Bravs get a little bit of attention at a stage, which was nice, but it's also, I mean, YCW don't traditionally tag, or not previously, but
they obviously, he's had a big influence, Bravo, over the last few weeks.
Yeah, he's been great from where he started. Like, he's come back from an ACL, he was having his issues with injuries, and he's come back and he's really added another layer along with Declan to our side, which has allowed the likes of Fraser and myself to sort of play a freer game style. They're doing a lot of the grunt work, and when Bravs is getting his hands on the ball and then getting tagged, it just takes the attention off everyone else, and he's the kind of bloke who can just run with it. Like, he's just a bull. he'll take whatever's coming, and then I don't think it really matters if you send anyone him or not. He'll just shrug them off or find a way to get it done. But I mean, it's credit to him. His footy's been great.
And Rick, from the last game, that round out end game, and the superstar coach that you are, I had a feeling on the day, and the boys here didn't agree with me. I know you needed to win that game, but I had a feeling that day that there was things that you could have done that you didn't. That was just my personal feeling on the day. I know you needed to win. Now, whether you've got a sixth sense and you knew that things were going to go your way, but you probably won't tell us what they are. But is there some things you saw in that game that you didn't pull the trigger on, that now you've been through, you can review that game, review the finals, and you think you got something you can actually take away from them or get after them that'll make a big difference?
Yeah, I think you've always got to have, I won't say about that game because Rosebud were clearly better on that day. And I think that we probably were down a couple of matchups, to be honest, where, we couldn't restrain a couple of their players that we thought were hurting us. And then you either go into a defensive mindset and you try and slow it all down, but that's you're not going to win games of footy like that. So, look, at the end of the day, we think we're pretty well positioned now. Even round 17, I look at the team we took in against YCW, and that ended up being make or break for our season. I think we had 4 teenagers in our back 6. Wow. So we were just missing a lot of cattle, really, and it's good to have him back.
Absolutely. And Bob, for me, Bob is, I think, when he's playing, I know Mitch is a superstar and Campbell, but Bob's the best player in this competition. He is so fucking good. For which end he plays, that interests me. Because I watched Mitch in that game, and I know Nelma went to him, and he blew Nelma up, which I found amazing, because he was up, back, left, right, screaming orders, and Nelma couldn't keep... Does Bob go back and just take care of him? Because I think it's the one bloke that he is so good behind the ball. I know he was clunking him forward. Yeah. Where are you going to tell us where he starts, or the fact that you can throw him either end is the advantage you've got?
That's the flexibility with Bob, right? So I think the first week he came back in the finals, I think he had 8 shots on goal. Last week he played both ends with the wind. Probably was a difference in the second quarter. We felt like we got given a gift because he was on his own for 20 minutes in that second quarter. So he was marking everything. He reads the play really well. That's the flexibility. So Freeman can do it as well. He can go both ends. So
Tom's last 4 or 5 weeks has been enormous.
Unreal.
His whole season, really, like whenever he's been available from Casey, his impact on a game and his ability physically to, attack opposition. And, I know he gets a lot of attention from over the fence, and he brings a bit of it on himself because he's a bit of a showman. But what he brings to the team, he reminds me of like the Toby Green kind of feel, where you love those guys on your team and in your club. He's a barometer for us. Like when he attacks the footy, it's he's a gun.
And just one more, young Finn O'Neill. So I coached against Finn in the juniors. Mate, how's he come on as a player? I think he was a decent junior, but to watch him, he was in the midfield. I'm watching. There's not a lot of him, but he was impressed me so much. He's come a long way, and I was super impressed with him. So I hope he has a great day. He's a damn good footballer. Good player.
He's an angry little bugger too.
Yeah, no, I love it.
It'll be a good ruck duel too, with Steve mainly rucking for them, and obviously he's got his twin brother as well to chop him out a little bit. But I think I was looking at the numbers last time: 49 hit outs to 31. Ducks in great form. 43 clearances to your 30. But in that game, even though you've had the same amount of scoring shots, you've gone inside 50, 47 times to their 41. So when we talk about the actual, it's a 5-goal loss, but the numbers would say it was possibly a little bit closer than that. And again, you're talking about a different side you had in compared to them, and they've probably brought Dixon is the one change they'll have, I would say, on the weekend. But apart from that, your confidence is very different, I reckon, from the last time you played them. So I certainly take a lot into that too. I think.
Pardon me. Yeah, even Duck. All these sub-stories that go in the background. Duck hurt his ankle round 10 or 11, and he's carried it for most of it. And he's running on top of the ground now, whereas I reckon for a while he wasn't even jumping. He was just trying to kind of wrestle, and that's not his go. So I wouldn't say he's going to set any world records for the 400, but he's getting around the ground a bit better now, so which is a big help.
So, boys, how does the week look? Just another week in football this one, or we just, after the weekend, we back off a little bit?
You can answer this question.
Well, we've been sort of unorthodox, I guess, the last 4 weeks, haven't we? We've been heading down to Park.
Keep doing it.
Park on Tuesday night, getting in the pools, having a swim, and doing our review, and then do a bigger session Thursday, and then, captain's run Saturday, and that's it. Another week. I'm sure there's obviously the media and the hype around it and whatnot, but it's been working for us the last 4 or so weeks, so we'll probably run with it.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And it's the first time in quite a few years the 19s have been knocked out.
Yep.
It's not the
Come
worst
on,
thing
Rowan.
It's
Rowan Myers got the coaching. You
it's
fucked
not-
that up,
it's
Rowan.
not
Come on,
the worst
bro.
thing for the club is to teach these boys to defend for a couple of years and come through more defensively minded. Would that be a fair comment?
So we've always run the same program through all grades,
Sure.
or the last couple of years anyway, but it's a massive step up. So many of these kids that we see are super talented kids that have got through junior footy on that talent, and then there's a lot to learn about playing senior footy, and we're pretty lucky that we've got a really captive audience of kids that absolutely love it. There's a few that get caught out when they get to that level now. All of a sudden, you've got to take notice of the education, and you got to do the game plan stuff, and you got to, because you get found out straight away.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I think that the 19s this year, there's only 6 that are going up into the senior club. There was 6 that were under 17s that played up. Like, they're going to be together for a couple of years. So it was one of those years that it's not the worst thing in the world for those boys to have.
No.
Bit of adversity.
Yeah,
Good for him.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
So,
Been for a while. Yeah.
Guys, I've got one for Finn. Finn, on your season this year, because last week on the show, I think I gave the MP for now one of the biggest sprays of all time. And it's hard to rank year to year as a player, but how do you rate your season this year?
I mean, it certainly hasn't been my best. I mean, I'm not disillusioned by my impact on the field probably compared to last year, but I think it's also the roles changing as well. Without Declan and Bravo, probably for most of the my roles probably changed, and obviously having Skaggs gone, and a few others who not necessarily took a lot of the load off, but were some serious players in their own right. We've had a younger midfield, so I mean, there's that. But yeah, I mean, it's a different one as well. Going from vice captain to captain, the leadership duties are obviously different, and sort of, I guess, not necessarily deferring, but wanting to empower others as well changes things a little bit. But I'm still content, and we're in the grand final, so I'm happy with how it has been in terms of year on year. Maybe a little bit less in terms of impact, but we're in the flag. And,
now, stats-wise, I haven't watched the footy that closely. The stats look amazing. The fact if you went into a wing and played on Diggins, you'd have 400 possessions. To be honest, so that's a joke. Yeah. Come on.
Might just fuel a bit of a fire.
Good.
Nah, it's good. You're talking about the team of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, we want to be the first back-to-back team, premiership team, that not have one single player in the team.
That's a joke. Like, come on.
It is,
That's
but
all right, I missed something.
I guess the more I've thought about it, it's sort of it epitomises, I guess, what we're sort of about. Like, it's always
Don't let them off, mate.
No, don't let him off. Tell him you should have been in there, Finn. Jamming up your ass.
Very nice answer.
There we go. No, I'm genuine though. It's it is like I guess what Rick and Joe and the coach have done is sort of implement a role system. Like, everything's, I guess, based off how you play your role. It's not off kicks and marks and touches and goals and everything. Everyone's got their own role, and that could be getting 3 touches and spoiling the ball 8 times, or it could be doing something completely intangible that no one sees apart from the coaches, but it's what sort of delivers wins. And I mean, we didn't have the greatest year in terms of wins on the board, but we've built it, and now it's sort of all clicking at the same time. So I know that is cliche the way I'm answering. It's
mate,
very
perfect.
media trained.
Take
but,
the best on medal and win, mate. That'll do.
Absolutely.
Well, I think too the consistency too. So we talked about Red 11 3 players on that side. I think Pines didn't have any, which Oldham's a bit stiff, and we probably were discussing all around the fact that you pick 2 blokes out in the wing there that don't even play on the wing. You can put them on the bench, like throw them on the side. I think it's a bit stiff, but I think probably the thing that is your biggest superpower as a football side, but probably hinders your chance of making the team of the year, is how even you are.
Yeah.
So you look at even on the weekend. So you've had 7 players in the top 10 with 20 plus possessions, but I watched you the week before, and you could shuffle the decks on that on who was you know what I mean. So you're probably you're probably the most consistent side in the competition for your depth, which means that some other blokes will just get on top of other blokes. And Mercedes can be best on ground with 26 on the weekend. I thought Phillips was super, but then we can flip it, and then Nelms might have 24, and Nelms might have only had 12 on the weekend. It was super impactful 12, but so you can just flip it. You're not relying on the same blokes. Whereas some of these guys, Diggins, he had to play well for Edie to win. You know what I mean? You guys don't rely on that. So I suppose that's the counter argument.
No, that's excellent. Yeah. We're going to have to wrap it up, boys. But thanks for coming in. Congratulations on making another grand final. Go you bloody good things, by the way.
Look at the
so
commission.
we're all going to be down there watching and cheering, I think, and about except you can't be there.
I would have been there supporting me, Mt Eliza Boys Hills all over from last year.
Great job to come from 5th and to be where you are today is bloody awesome.
Can I just hand back? Spooks forgot his question.
Yeah.
There was a question that you needed to ask very consistently to both sides around BOG.
I was going to ask that. So,
Right.
Finn, so who do you think will get best outside of your good self? Who do you think will be best on ground in game? And then it's very strange because Mt Eliza aren't known, not the massive big party atmosphere, but who's going to be best on after the win? That's what I want.
So you want
best on the ground and then best on after the ground.
This is an easy question.
Right.
So on the ground, I reckon Fraser Phillips.
I
I
think he's a star.
Yeah,
he's a jet.
He's awesome.
He is.
Off the ground, there is no doubt it's going to be Will Bravo.
Bravo. I knew you were going to say Brav.
No
He's
doubt.
a legend. Good
him
on
or
him.
Declan Cole.
Yeah, right. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Get in on Brav.
Boys, thank you once again. It's been bloody enormous to have both teams in here giving us all the guff, and you guys have been fantastic as usual. But good luck. Let's hope the weather holds out for all of us being down there. We're going to be back after this break to wrap this shit up. You're watching and listening to Halftime Heroes.
Looking for unbeatable deals on new and used Toyotas? Head to Frankston Toyota, where great service meets great value. From rugged Hilux to fuel-efficient Corolla, we've got the perfect car for every driver. And right now, crazy low finance rates for selected models. Come see why locals trust Frankston Toyota. Just off the freeway. Easy to find, hard to beat. T's and C's apply. Visit frankstontoyota.com.au today.
Back to the halftime heroes. How bloody good was that, eh? Jeez, first it was the Rosebud boys, then it was the Mt Eliza boys, and I'm surprised that you were able.
Tasty. It's very tasty. Which very attractive boys, those Mt Eliza boys, aren't they? Finlay Bayne, very nice.
He's a handsome lad.
He's a handsome lad.
He's a handsome lad. Rikki.
And I could just close my eyes and listen to Ricky Bobby talk.
What do you think Kamish does every night? Puts the headphones in, blindfolds on, just sit there. Shut up, Steph.
You know, some people are going to listen to rain or wind or something.
Ricky's.
There he goes.
And from a Collingwood flavour, it was nice to have a black and white boy next to you.
I didn't want to say anything about it. I didn't want to say anything about it.
You fucking wankers.
Well, hang on, you're going to be joining us.
Yeah, I'll go knock a few teeth out and I'll be in.
Hey, which coach gave away more, do you reckon? Because Danny was...
no, I was going to mention, boys, talk about if you were talking, hats off to Danny, great coach, but if you were talking about the being relaxed, seeming nervous or not, I think Rikki looked very relaxed, very calm, very confident. Danny looked a little bit uptight. Now he's not probably as he might get a bit funny with these things, but you don't want that exuding onto your playing group.
Rikki was feeling relaxed because he just came off a triple bypass at 3/4.
And he was copping a fair fucking wristy from his underneath the table.
His heart rate, it was a long way away.
He's got a big...
His heart rate would have got, what would have got to in the last 10 minutes?
Shit.
Maybe up
I
60,
looked at him a couple of times.
60 maybe?
He was still pretty calm. But he did see celebration on the side.
Yeah, I know. A couple of...
Yeah, he did. No, there was bloody good stuff.
I don't know if you recall, but Danny's been like that every time he's been in the garage.
Yeah, that's fair. He'll be right. He's a professional.
Absolutely.
He's been there before.
I'll tell you what, I didn't get away with being down on the ground the other day.
No, I know.
I thought I was having a kick with my young son. I thought I'd look a
They called you out.
hat on.
How's Daddy when he said we thought something was going on with the kid was asleep by your feet?
Poor old Nash. He's been on my case all week about going for a kick because I missed out that night. But
talking about being on the ground, it wasn't missed by us doing a couple of interviews there either, was it?
Oh, that was going to take part of it. Yeah, that's what it works out.
Good.
Well, it is now time for Suss's Pellets and for Spook Soapbox. And we're going to do it like this. We're going to start off with the pellets, please. Chief, executive producer, take it away, please. Back that fucking big
fucking thing in. Reel it in.
Since I did that, we haven't had it.
No.
It's been...
It's in the thing back there. It's in the cupboards.
What the fuck's going on?
Sterilised.
Sorry, Pete.
Sterilised.
Sorry, Pete.
You're up on your pellets.
Let's go, Pete.
Up on the pellets. Look, I'd just like to give a really, really big spray to the friggin' nuffins sitting on the friggin' desk here, telling me all friggin' week how to fucking suck eggs. How are you peckerheads? Friggin' put this to wear. Put this.
He's done it. He's flipped out.
He's done it. Friggin' my sound's not right. My microphone's not right. Fucking stick it up your ass. Friggin'.
Well, you're the executive producer, mate. That's what you do.
You're not fucking Graham Kennedy, son.
Fucking Oz Alders in
Fucking oath, Sus.
Whack.
Whack,
I
Sus.
didn't think it was going to happen.
No, he was been waiting. Good on you, Pete.
Oh,
love it.
now we can take a breath.
Beautiful.
I think we're looking for a new exec producer, fellas, by the way.
No, sorry, Sus. We're a bit harsh last week. So, mate.
Oh, it was
Lift your game, mate.
fantastic. Well done to you. You can get down now. Hello, what do we got?
Well, I've got a couple here. So
no.
So the first one, and I've always thought this. So it's AFL prelim weekend, right? It's
It
also
is.
local football's grand finals.
It is.
Now I'm not a Collingwood supporter, but I would know why the fucking hell would those woke tosspots at the AFL schedule the Collingwood Brisbane game? I know it's 2 hours. No one from local footy. If everyone wants to go and watch local footy grand finals.
Yeah.
What time's it on?
5 o'clock. It's
Like
ridiculous.
5:10.
It's ridiculous.
Why would that be?
Because they want to give them the most time to get home to recover. No one fucking cares.
It's 2 hours.
Seriously, give
It's
people
2
a fair
hours.
go to get there.
Tell me the players care either.
No, they don't give a mate.
No,
2
'cause
hours.
they-
But
Yeah,
it
yes,
shits me.
I
please.
heard multiple bloody interviews today across the course of the day saying that all players had like other commitments to go and watch, relatives and mates and go and play in local football. Well, they
It's
can't
fucking
now.
stupid. Anyway, it's just that it's always pissed me off the way the AFL do that. So that's my first one.
No, first one, very
The
good
second
on the
one, I
Ox.
know we've had a bit of a dig at the game face people, and we're all in a community here. We're trying to promote our local game.
We are. That's why
We
we're
don't,
out.
as a halftime heroes, we don't, whether you're a commentary or whether you're the game face, or you can have 100 people commentating the game. We're trying to promote the local brand for everyone.
Correct.
That's because the close-up of Neil's face was very impressive in the videos, right in there.
It was very
Very impressive, the commish.
I had a,
You had to. You,
That's some growth
you
I didn't
had
even know I had.
trimmed.
Look
You
like
had
you've
trimmed
been
your
hanging
nose hairs,
out at
I've
the old
noticed.
Panther Den on a
Had a
Saturday night.
had a couple of beauticians ring up as well about your paws.
About the pause, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I
God.
know.
Wait till the OnlyFans that kicks off for you going to air.
yeah.
We'll have 3
Yeah,
million
yeah.
this week.
Hey, Sus, talking about the blooper reel too, I noticed on the weekend when I was watching one of your clips live with Spook that you happened to fumble the camera.
I got a comment about that. A guy commented, "Great to see you can hold the camera and pick his beer up after." They commented on the post.
Nah, got
It's been cut. It's been cut. I have watched it again. It's
I
been
got it.
cut.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Very good, Pete.
Got it out. I showed a bit of crack. I couldn't
Wow. Saw a bit when we rocked in.
Yeah.
I was fucking drove in with my bike. That's where I'm going to park it.
I thought it was a
Neil
bike.
rode his motorbike straight into it.
Here we go again.
Fat tyre on a Timmy bike.
There we go.
We'll
We
post
love
that.
you, mate.
We're going to post
We
it
love
to
you.
socials.
Yeah, we are. We're going to post that to socials for that.
Or you want me to post it?
Yeah, could you post and make it quick?
Yeah, hurry up.
The sound's going to be shit, so we can't do that. We can't do that.
Very good.
Hey, what a grand final.
Oh,
I
here we
know.
go.
Oh, yeah.
What a week.
Bloody
Great year too,
hell.
boys. Great year.
What a
What a
weekend.
fantastic
What a weekend.
No, we're
Grand
back next
final,
week.
another
We're
one.
going to review the game. Review the game next week, and then we'll be off.
I'm not going to tell the Halftime Harry's family what we're going to do, but we are going to meet
No.
here about 45 minutes prior, and we're going to intake. Might have a couple of beers. We just might loosen up a bit next week. We might just partake in a bit of stuff, and we'll see how the show goes, boys.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun show next week, lads.
Like it.
I can't
It
wait.
is the upcoming grand final in Division 1. It's Rosebud taking on Mt Eliza. The stage is set. It's going to be massive.
Can't wait.
It is going to be massive. That is a wrap from the Halftime Heroes. I'd like to think, of course. I'd like to thank,
Think
of
for
course.
once.
Jesus.
hell.
Toyota, Frankston, Mornington and Rosebud. I'd like to thank
Yes,
the boys
thank you,
from
boys.
Rosebud Football Netball Club and the boys from Mt Eliza. And more importantly, I'd like to thank, of course, us boys, my heroes, our heroes, Chris Gammers, Gamble, who had to leave. But to you, Master Button Pusher,
Well done,
Executive
Chief.
Producer, you just keep getting better and better.
Look at him.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
doing a marvellous job.
Just
Sorry,
fucking wrap
Pete.
up the show.
And to Jane Bunn, thanks for contacting us once again. To you, Kamish, well done with the Mt Eliza. Well done with the
Good on
Mt
you,
Eliza
boys.
boys.
Fantastic fun.
Steph will not see that boner again for
No,
quite a
no,
number of
It's not going
months.
up again for a while.
So it's
And to my
Blood.
boy Macca, unbelievable, mate. You just
Love it,
keep
mate.
getting better and better. And, well, it's not the same without you, Spook Harris. It is an absolute pleasure sitting next to you each and every week. That is a wrap, sus.
I was just going to say, and the young fella, Jake.
Oh, yeah, well, no,
Oh, and
Jake,
Jake.
of course.
Jake,
No,
eh?
well, Jake, yeah. Jake's got a big, something big
yeah.
coming up in
But he's
uni.
gone to Rye.
No, oh, yes.
Yeah, well done,
Jake.
Jake.
Yeah,
You
that's
fucking
right.
piece of shit.
He's upgraded to
Fucking left with all
Rye.
the other blokes from Bayswater.
He's upgraded from Bayswater to Rye.
Oh, yeah. We beat him by 400 fucking goals.
My boy, Jacob Kelly. Of course, as you might have seen over the... Anyway, it's not about that.
Yeah, good on him.
It's
No, but
a
good
great,
stuff.
yeah,
It's
good luck,
huge.
Jake. He's a
Yeah,
great
well
young
done,
man.
mate.
He can play some footy, mate. So
Yeah,
good luck to
bloody
him.
Righto.
well done.
Let's go.
Down, goes back down
Go to footy.
RJ Roller Reserve. Fantastic. That is a wrap from the Halftime Heroes. Thanks again to Toyota, Mornington, Frankston and Rosebud. That is a wrap. Good morning, good afternoon and good night.